Jay Thomas Show. Sirius 108 and XM 139. This is the Jay Thomas Show. The interesting, the odd, and the bizarre people behind the, interesting. The odd and bizarre stories. Jay gets in it, stirs it up, and spits it out. He's a professional. It's all here on the Jay Thomas Show with Rodney Lee Conover, Julie, Madison, Kevin Meaney, Garrett and Christina, and Ira the Weatherman. This is the Jay Thomas Show.
All right, while we're waiting for Jay Thomas, this is Bobby Slayton of Pitbull and Comedy. I'll be playing comics if you're in New York this Friday, Saturday. Jay, of course, is so busy going to New Orleans and traveling around the country and working out of his parents' basement that very rarely does he show up here to Sirius XM. So we're trying to kill some time and wait for him. All right, before I start talking, we got the retarded weather guy. Jay's coming in right now as we speak. And take your time, Jay, take your time. Jay, take your time. It's not my first time at the rodeo. I've got everything under control. It's nice to see you. He's got toys and gifts. It is a pleasure to be on your show. It's a pleasure to host the Jay Thomas Show. Maybe I'll interview you. I mean, I know you usually have to do this for 3-4 hours every day. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. How was New Orleans? Was it good?
It was fantastic.
Was it?
But I met some people for
yeah, Jay. I talking to the mic. I love these new kids.
And I had a few cocktails.
You had a few cocktails? Well, you know.
And it could have been a mistake.
You talking about today?
Just now.
Well, you know what's great because if you have any, if you want to take a little nap during the show, I will be happy to.
And let me tell you something. Besides Bobby Slayton, Ira the Weatherman is here.
Yeah. Why do you have to encourage him? I didn't really think he really was. Last time I called your show, you called me to interview me when my Showtime special came out.
Right.
That guy kept talking. I thought he was just some kind of character, but he really is kind of like a retarded weather guy, right?
I don't know who you are, but I want you to give me that. No, you can't say that.
You can't say what?
What you just said.
Retarded?
Don't say it again. No.
Okay, fine.
How
Special?
Those are my headphones.
Oh.
No, I don't have headphones.
Oh, wait, I maybe like to hear. I took your headphones. You took those.
Idiots.
I've got these.
Oh, well. And coming in at the bottom of the hour, Jesus Christ, you're sweating.
I know. I'm sorry.
Geez, I got the headphones with the water on.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, I was nervous because all of a sudden it's the Jay Thomas Show and you're not here.
Trust me, I've been told by management it's no big deal already.
Well, it's a big deal to me.
It is. And you know what? Bobby Slayton is here. His Showtime special. We had him on, as you know. And I said, come in anytime. Now, Shuli is normally here. Shuli not coming in today?
He is. I don't know where he is, but he should be here soon.
Isn't this a crazy business?
Well, it's nice when people just who's Shuli? I don't know. I don't really listen to
Shuli is a guy who lived in Vegas and was pushing people, like from the, in the wheelchairs,
Yeah.
And he wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And he was a dealer and stuff. And so he decides that he can do funny bits for Howard Stern. This is like 10 years ago. So he would get home, get off work, and he would wait up until 2 a.m, smoking a joint, and he would call and hang on the phone for hours at a time until they let him on and he would do a bit. He did it for years. Then he started doing stand-up, and Howard brought him to New York when he moved here 5 years ago. And Shuli, it's like a life changer, right?
Yeah.
And he's a stand-up at Caroline's, and he travels all over the country, so he works. So he's a part of the show, and he comes in and works with me too. But he's a young, aspiring, young.
So we got him. We got the weather guy.
The weather guy. Well, Ira is my
Good
friend.
afternoon, Jay.
Ira's
Good afternoon, Ken.
No, Ira's my weatherman. And he and I have been friends for years and years. And there's a special treat. We'll introduce this man in a moment.
He is Jay.
Yes.
This Ken Kojak.
Ken I haven't seen Ken in how many years? 15 years? 10?
About 10 years.
10 years, right.
He is a radio great.
Coming up in a few minutes, Jay Thomas, a life-changing experience. But I don't like the laughter when I do the life-changing experience. And at the bottom of at 3:30, an incredible special guest.
More guests.
No, but yes.
There's not enough people on this show.
Well, wait a minute.
You didn't trust me to come in and just have to get all these backup
when
people.
When this guest comes in, I'm going to say to you when they come in, should I have not said yes? I'm going to say that to you. And you're going to say, well, either yes, you said it, yeah. So we will see if you think he's worthy of coming into the room.
All right, what's your show? Whatever you want to do. How was New Orleans?
Well, I'm there all the time, and it's good. It's a secret life I live. By the way, that's Christina. People just keep floating in.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, well, that's great.
They just keep floating in. This is my fiancée. Have you met her?
No, not really.
Yeah, it is.
No, are you really getting
She
married?
just started working. Yeah, we are.
Now, do you think that's such a great idea that you're working
Look
with
at
your
this.
wife?
No more wedding rings with me, buddy.
Right.
I'm
but
through with her.
You're not really going to get married again.
Yeah, we're getting married 2 years from this Sunday.
Are you going to continue working on the show?
Oh, yeah.
See, that's just like a mom and pop operation this has turned into.
She is
you
going to
really-
have her own show.
Isn't the only great thing about a job, whether it's stand-up comedy, whether it's radio, whether it's working in a tire shop, the fact that you get to get up in the morning and get away from your wife, and now you guys get to go to work together. Is that really a good idea, Jay?
You know what's sad about
Did you watch my special?
I
thought,
did watch
Did
your
you learn
special.
nothing from it?
I watched it with my son, and my son said to me, "Dad, does Mom ever give you a blowjob?" That's what he said to me, and I said, "You have to leave the room." Did you see what Ken Kojak just did? He put his hand over his mouth. He's so shocked. How do you talk about that kind of stuff with children watching your show and your own daughter?
I watched the show with my daughter, my wife sitting there. It wasn't
You
really,
told us this on the air, but I thought it was a joke.
Well, you know what happened? The night it aired.
Jay,
You're allowed to laugh.
you're allowed
right?
to laugh.
I
Ken.
wasn't planning on watching it. I was in the living room.
Yeah.
And it was whatever it aired, about 3-4 weeks ago. It was 9 o'clock at night. My wife and daughter watching American Idol. And I said, you know what? I already have a copy of this, but I want to see it live, like when the first time it's on. So I want to go to the bedroom and turn it on. So I go to the bedroom and I come out a few minutes later to do something. I see they have it on. So I go, well, I don't really want them watching this, but so I stood there for a minute because it's a big screen.
The
And
wife is
I
there,
didn't-
too.
My big mouth, my big nose is bigger. And my wife and daughter is sitting there, and my daughter's heard all the material. My daughter's been to my show. She's 21 years old. My material is not comfortable for anybody, let alone my wife and daughter, but I'm used to, they both see my show. My wife knows I pay all the bills. She knows this is what pays the bills. And she always busts my chops
But
about
there is a not just a grain, but there may be a dump truck load of truth.
Absolutely.
Surely,
Absolutely.
Surely, you left the building.
Jay.
Yeah. Wait,
Jay.
get him away from the microphone.
I'm ready to take over
Really?
if Bobby can't hang.
All right.
Bobby's hanging. Now, does he actually, I don't want to encourage him, but does he actually do weather? Or you just call him the weather guy?
All right. Give us a city before we finish your wife blowjob story with your daughter.
right.
If you just tuned in, wait for that. And by the way, an incredible, and I mean this, a special guest will walk through that door at 3:30.
Is there room for one more person?
It's a
to
guy
walk
that
through
not
the
only is he special, but I will.
Special like him? Like the weather guy?
No,
like
an
that kind
icon.
of special?
An American icon. An American icon.
Wow.
Perhaps international icon. Give him, where were you born?
I was born in the Bronx, so that doesn't really count.
In the Bronx, it's around 70 degrees
There you go.
today.
There you go.
Beautiful blue sky.
Give him another. Where's your wife born? Where was your wife born?
My wife was born in Bremerton, right outside of Seattle.
Seattle is around 65 degrees over there.
Today it is?
Now, what
Beautiful
about
sky.
You ever look to see if he's telling you the truth?
Yeah, no, he is. He's a clairvoyant. And by the way, he's using no screen, no map, no. Now, what's the weekend in Seattle? What's the weekend weather in Seattle?
It's going to be around 60 degrees under cloudy skies with a chance of rain.
What percentage chance?
35%.
Thank you very much.
Now, when we take a break, can we check that information to see if it's true? Have you ever checked it? Or you just trust him?
By the way, would you call us, please, at 888-4-102-102? Those of you that are fans of Ira the Weatherman, many of you have had the weather, he gives you the weather. Tell us if you've ever found him to be incorrect.
Well, that's pretty amazing if he really is telling the truth, because weathermen in that city, you watch your local weather and you go, well, that guy was wrong. It said it was going to be cloudy. And they're always making mistakes. And this guy's telling you
Yes.
that you can do another. Wow, that's
Al
pretty cool.
Roker came in here one day.
Right.
Al Roker.
Right.
And I've had some of the biggest weathermen in the country on
He's
this
big.
show.
He's
And I
big.
bring Ira in against them. And it was, how many years ago? Was it about 8?
I said to you the end of March, the first week in April,
Right.
Jay, it was gonna snow.
That's about-
What did it do that Sunday? It snowed.
That's about 7 or 8 years ago. My kids are playing Little League Baseball. Al Roker laughed right in his face and really said some derogatory things about him. And we were just about ready for the first pitch, and the snowflakes began. And no weatherman had called that in all of New York City.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Should be.
Jay, to those who doubt me,
Yes.
I say,
What?
suck it.
Suck it. Who are these people on the line here down below? Who are those people? Christina, who are those people?
I believe they are friends of Ken that also want to talk.
Friends of Ken?
Ken Kojak.
Well, we don't have any friends of Ken calling up.
They're also.
Why are you having your friends call?
Because we want to increase the audience out in the People on the lines are actually down in the lobby. They're wanting to get in.
Let's go. Let's go to Chris in Missouri. Chris, the Jay Thomas Show. Bobby Slayton is here. Ira, the weatherman, will have a story of how I changed a man's life. I turned him away from medicine and into show business. Stay where you are for that. Christina, my fiance, is here. Go ahead, Chris in Missouri. What can we do for you, Chris?
Yeah, Jay, I was calling to find out what the temperature is here in St. Louis. I'm going through St. Louis right now.
Go ahead, Ira. What's the temperature in St. Louis?
St. Louis right now, it's around 60 degrees under beautiful skies.
Chris?
Yep.
There you go. Thank you very much. Bobby.
Right
on the button. Thank you. Let's go to Steve in Cleveland, Ohio. Steve in Cleveland, Ohio. By the way, Shuli, would you, speaking to the mic, are there any weather maps? Is there a Doppler, anything in front of this man?
I'm running a hula hoop over Ira right now.
Right.
There are no wires. There are no Dopplers, no screens, no radars, nothing.
Put it back in. Are you getting? Is your ass getting a lesson now, my friend?
You know what? I'm impressed.
Steve of Cleveland. You in the middle of Cleveland? Outside? Where are you, Steve?
Well, I'm just outside of Cleveland, but you know, it's go ahead.
Go ahead, Ira.
Let's see if he's able to do
It's
it.
around 55 to 60 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio.
Under cloudy, sunny, what sort of skies are?
Under clear skies.
Clear skies.
He's right.
Thank you.
And he is right. It's a blue sky out here. It's and it's about 55 degrees.
Thank you very much, Steve. Let's go now. No, wait a minute. We got to keep moving. We got to go to Eric in Tennessee. Now we're going across the country now.
Okay. I'm still a bit skeptical. I'm kind of, you're turning me into a believer, but you know, I'm always those 3-card Monte games. I fall for any kind of crap.
Do you know the TV show where do you want to be a millionaire?
Yeah.
Why don't we call somebody, one of your lifelines?
Yeah.
In any city you want, and put him on with Ira, and he'll tell him the weather.
Okay.
I mean, someone you know.
Well, call my wife or daughter. Call my wife.
Jay,
I can tell you, it's 72 in California.
Now?
It's 72.
How do you know it's 72?
Well, because it's California, that's why.
Wait.
Yes, what is it, Ira? What is it?
Special now. Slayton?
That's right. He's nothing. Eric, you're in Tennessee. What city? That's where I had my illegitimate son in. Actually, he was impregnated the woman in Knoxville, and we had the child and gave the child up in Nashville. So it's always
Jay, I live in Seymour, Tennessee. It's just outside of Knoxville.
Oh, I went to UT, and I used to work at WKGN. Do you remember the Big Orange Motel?
Yes.
That's where I impregnated my wife at the time.
Fantastic.
It was a great place.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, does he know how the weather was yesterday? Like you were in New Orleans yesterday. Can
Hold
you go
on.
back in time?
What was the weather yesterday? It's never been done before.
Yesterday it was around 58 degrees.
You're exactly correct. The cold front moved in while we were there. Isn't that
That's
unbelievable?
right.
That's the truth.
Well, you should let him finish that. You want?
No, he doesn't. He's at 58.
Yeah.
Eric, you're in Tennessee,
All right.
just outside of Nashville. What's the
Outside of Nashville, it's around 78 degrees under beautiful skies.
That's perfect.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay,
All right.
I really can't.
And he's global, too. Let's not forget. I was
Yeah.
born in
Oh,
Israel,
you mean
Ira. What's the weather in
Israel,
Israel?
it's around 89 degrees in Israel.
In Israel.
But wait, for you, $85.99. Hey, good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Josh of Binghamton, New York. Hey, Josh, how are you? You
What's going on?
We're here. Bobby Slayton is here. Shuli is here. Garrett, of course. Christina, the whole group. And in a few moments, a man whose life I changed. Stay where you are for that. You hear the word. My voice drops.
How's it going, guys?
I'm good.
Hey, real quick, okay, what's the weather in Binghamton, New York?
Ira.
Binghamton, New York, it's around 70 degrees today in Bingham, New York.
There you go.
He's pretty good. That's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you a question to Shuli, though. Shuli, were you at the show, Miserable Men, on Sunday?
Were you on Miserable Men Sunday night?
Yeah, I'm on every Sunday night.
Yeah.
Right. Did you find that all that stuff? Did you have any previous knowledge about what was going to happen during that show?
What was the subject matter? Because he's the only guy that's probably listening to that show. That's Shuli's
Yeah,
show.
well, we the first part of the show we didn't know was going to turn out as heated and as emotional as it did.
You mean it was seriously heated and emotional?
Yeah.
What was the topic?
Levy walked out on the show for
It's a show about men. It's called Miserable Men, which you would enjoy. You'd be a great guest on it. They take calls.
You would be great on
it. And all the guys are comics that come out of the Howard world. What would have caused one of the most evil men in the world, Rev Bob Levy, to walk out?
There was a story in the news about this fight promoter who's up on charges of allegedly fixing fights, these celebrity boxing matches.
Of course they're fixed.
Right, and Bob was a part of a couple of these and had been saying all along that they were fixed, but nobody was listening to him. So this came public knowledge, he was arrested, he was indicted, and
for fixing a celebrity boxing match?
That and not being licensed to hold boxing matches.
You mean between Danny Bonaducci and Chuckles the Clown or whatever?
When Bonaducci fought Canseco, when Bonaducci fought Levy, all these fights, Rodney King fought that cop.
Hold it 1 second. Ira the Weatherman, were those fights ever real?
Yes, they were.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Now that explains that. But
go ahead, Bobby. Bobby, what?
I was just going to ask Ira if he can use those clairvoyant or whatever those powers are to do other things. I mean, obviously,
Bobby, where you are sitting right now, it's around 200 degrees.
I'm sorry.
I just mean besides temperature and weather. Do you know other things? Other facts?
Oh, you know what, Shuli? It's like you're working with a puppet.
I know.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go back to this.
Tell them what the temperature is.
So, Miserable Men, and it's fake, and the guy got arrested. Why would Bob Levy, who says it was fake?
Because all we do is bust balls on the show. So when he's trying to tell his story, we're busting his balls, and it was clearly very important to him, and he couldn't get it out.
So he left the thing.
And he stormed off. Well, we also had a prank set up for that night with him that when he came back on the show, we did this prank where we had a woman come on who was playing the wife of another member of the show, and Bob told her some information, and she said she wanted a divorce, and Bob believed it and thought he ruined another guy's marriage on the show.
Jesus Christ.
It was very emotional.
Josh, it's all fake, Josh. Is that your question?
It is. Well, I was going to say, Shuli, I couldn't tell which was fake or Bob.
But you know what? Can I be honest, Josh? I want to hold on. What difference does it make if it's real or fake? And you can answer
like
this.
Somebody's upset. That
no, but what? No, you know what? What difference does it make if the magician, if you find out that he can't really make the thing disappear? Do you need to know that? I like the illusion of it, and life goes on.
I think the illusion, when you talk about magic, I think the illusion is cooler. If a magician could really do magic, well, of course he made the tiger disappear. He's a magician.
Right.
But the fact, he's not really doing it, you go, how does he do that? Right. I find that more fascinating than you're pretending to do something. If you could really disappear, you go, wow, the guy can disappear. If you're pretending, you go, wow, how do you pull that one off? I find that even more fascinating.
He's right, because when I first moved out to Vegas, my first job I worked at was at this ice cream shop in the Hacienda Hotel when it was still up and running.
Did you ever play the Hacienda?
I played the Tropicana and the Hooters, which is bad enough. It's a trifecta.
Lance Burton, the magician, was there. This was before he got his big deal at the Monte Carlo and all that. And his producer guy would always come in and get juice out of our shop. And he would always say, if you have any family, if you have any guests or whatever, bring them to the show. We'll let you in for free.
With the two gay guys with the tigers?
No, it was a different magician.
That was Siegfried and Roy. This is
Lance Burton.
I can't remember anybody's names, so I just say what they are.
They all have white tigers now.
Yeah, that's true.
With Thomas, but Siegfried and Roy started the white tiger. They invented these things.
They did.
Where did these animals come from?
Who do they get to peroxide the tiger is what I want to know. How do you peroxide a tiger?
I'll let you finish your story, but do you remember when you were a kid? Yeah. There were no white tigers. I went to the Bronx Zoo, arguably the greatest zoo in the world, San Diego Zoo.
Right.
My daughter, we should read National Geographic, you watch PBS, but you never saw white tigers. Where? Did you ever see a white tiger? Ever. Until Siegfried and Roy.
At one of the greatest aquariums in the world is in Louisiana, and they have white alligators, which you don't see either.
I saw that.
Do you know where they found those? A guy went in, these hunters went in, and when you're hunting in the swamp in Louisiana, this sounds like a joke or fake. There are whorehouses kind of like in the swamp. And so after you're hunting and fishing, these prostitutes are kind of like, toothless Cajuns. And this guy was screwing this prostitute in the swamp, and she had a couple, 2, 3 white alligators, right? And she bred them and add more white alligators because they die immediately in the wild, the albinos.
Really?
These guys, Siegfried and Roy, I believe this, they had to actually mate albinos to get more white tigers. I believe that became almost a cottage industry around the world.
Yeah, but nobody ever had them, and now they're the ones keeping them alive, but they're the ones that kind of invented them.
But they can't live in the wild because they're seen immediately and they're eaten, whereas the tiger is camouflaged, right?
By the way,
yeah, that does make sense.
They can't. Same thing with a white alligator. You only see now. All of a sudden, after they said, "Oh, only these hookers had these white alligators," after the storm and everything died, sadly, they suddenly have white alligators again back in the thing because somebody bred two albinos.
You know, it makes sense that white tigers would get eaten and white alligators would get attacked. It's like white people in Africa. You can't survive without getting eaten. Just white people in the jungle and the bayou are not going to survive. Anything white is never going to make it alive.
If we go to Johannesburg and just run through town, we're not going to make it.
You're not going to make it. You have to be bred in captivity in place.
Some people may go, look how beautiful, they're white, and then they're going to kill you.
There are two gay South Africans, and they make white people disappear on the stage all the time. Yeah, all the time.
Well, I was just going to say, I went to the show so many times. We picked up tourist chicks almost every weekend, and we would take them to that was our move. We'd be like, you want to go see a magic show? And the first few times you see it, it's cool, it's fun. But then we went so many times, I figured out how he did every single thing. And once you figure it out, it's lame. It's like, it's like wrestling. It's like, it's all staged.
Well, what I don't get is, and I've seen Siegfried and Roy, there is a tiger on the stage and a sheet falls over it. And does the floor fall out? Do you know, Bobby?
It's all ball
but Siegfried and Roy, I took my daughter to see it when she was 11 and she wasn't impressed. They're not great magicians. Want to see great magic? Go see Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
Catch the bullets in their teeth. And
they brought my wife on stage, and we were dating. I wasn't with her. She had a date with someone else. And they put a bag on her head, and she never knew what they did to her, and they didn't tell her. And her boyfriend tried to explain. What do they do to the guest? Do they have a knife that they put over their heads, or looks like they're going to chop their heads off or something?
I don't know. I saw them years ago in Vegas.
I would never get on a stage with a magician ever.
Well, but Bobby's right. They're more Siegfried and Roy were like showmen. Right. They were like they brought the costume, the cod piece. You don't need a cod piece to make shit disappear.
Now we have him on the show all the time, and he's an idiot. But I used to love Kreskin because he would count the change in the pocket, the whole thing.
And he was just scary.
Could he really do that, or was that?
You know what? If you watch the movie, The Great Buck Howard, which is about him, it's Tom Hanks produced it. It's fantastic.
But it's not real. He's tricking you. He's counting the change.
I got to tell you something. It's a tough one to figure out. It's
just like the weather guy, but there's a trick there somewhere.
I don't know how he does the change.
I don't know how he does it either, but it's good. You're good, Ira.
Thank you.
You're good.
Thank you.
Let's go to Saul, who's calling from Israel. You know, the show's heard all over the world. Yes,
Shalom, shalom, yes. I'm calling to confirm it is exactly 89
Saul,
degrees.
shalom.
What is it, Saul? You're calling to confirm that it's 89 degrees in Israel.
That is correct. Shalom. Just wanted to let you know. Big fan.
Big fan. You sound a little like
Schwarzenegger. A little bit.
You know what else?
This guy's going from the camera shop on 48th Street.
A little John Lennon-ish. Could be a little John Lennon in there. Can you imitate John Lennon, Soul?
Let me try.
Okay.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
All
That's
right.
very difficult.
All right. There you go. There you go. By the way, an incredible special guest. Thank you, Saul. Coming up in a few minutes. The man that's sitting to my left, right here, Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby Slayton, by the way, it's an incredible, show that's on Showtime. See it. It's funny. These your books? All your books? Whose books are
these aren't my books. Oh, by the way,
I thought
are you in New York City this weekend?
No.
Oh, you really not? You just come in for a couple of days and do broadcast live?
No, I've been in for 2 weeks, but I left town for a couple of days. But I'm back again.
You have the greatest schedule. Then you go back to Santa Barbara and you broadcast out of the basement again of your, parents' house, whoever. What do you do? I mean,
it's a very nice office.
It's okay, whatever.
It's a very nice.
So you get to just get, and why do you even bother to come here? If you could do it out of there, you do it because you get
the energy.
Yeah,
I do it for the energy.
Well, you got to admit, from New Orleans to come to New York,
I do it for the energy.
Look, New Orleans is a great town, Jay. Oh, by the way, Mother's was the restaurant I was trying to think of. Mother's, the famous one. You were trying to come up with that great place on Market Street.
You know why? No, Mother's is on right by the hotel. But you know what Mother's is famous for? You're not going to like this at all.
I know, but I like it.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Years ago, when I was a kid, when a cop would shoot a black perpetrator, they gave him a ham.
But Mother's is all black people that work there. Don't black people
That's
own
right.
it?
Exactly. No, black people don't own it. That's the truth. So a cop would shoot a black perpetrator. You hope that they were guilty.
Yeah.
And not a white perpetrator. I think when they shot a white guy, they gave him a turkey. I swear to God. But when a cop shot somebody, they gave them food. And that's what Mother's was famous for.
Here's my question, though.
Yeah.
How did the cop have to bring in the dead?
It had to be reported. It had to be reported in the paper. It had to be reported.
So he'd come in with the clipping and he'd be like, hey, that's me. Can I get a
Yes.
ham?
And they would put his picture. I'm not kidding you. They'd put the picture up in the whole thing. But they did give a turkey away for shooting of a white perpetrator.
All right, besides that, though, the food is good, though.
Delicious food.
You know, I went to a Rathskeller in Germany. The old guys that worked there, I'm sure, were Gestapo at one point, but I still like the sauerkraut. You know, if it's good food, it's good. You get a cold beer.
All right.
You know, hey.
I tell you
Bobby,
what.
where are you going to be over the weekend?
No, that's what I was going to say to Jay. You're more
Where?
welcome to
Where
come,
are you gonna
too.
be?
I'm going to be right here in New York at Comics Comedy Club on 14th Street.
Oh, you be there Friday night?
Friday and Saturday.
Oh, what a coincidence.
I'll try and stay in Friday night.
I don't want you to go away. Just stay for my
Let
show.
me ask you something, Bobby.
What?
Let me ask you something.
Go right ahead.
Are you ever at the Gotham Club?
No, I've played there before. I played
23rd Street.
I know. I played the one on Comics on 14th Street. I like it better.
Oh, Comics. Where is it located?
Ira, don't tell another club when he's promoting.
Oh, it's okay.
It isn't okay.
Well, my friend Kevin Nealon.
Gotham happens to be very, very good.
No,
Jay.
don't say it again. He's at Comics.
Well, that's okay.
It's not okay.
You know what it's like? It's like, you ever see the Miracle on 34th Street when they, the guy from Gimbels sends the people to Macy's and says you'll come back to Gimbels and vice versa. We realize we have a better store. It's the same thing. Go to see who's ever there at Gotham Friday night.
And you'll come back to
see me
Comics.
Saturday night. And you'll
All
see.
right.
And by the way, my friend Kevin Nealon, he's not in it.
Instead of coming to see you, I would come over to see Shuley at his show.
Will you shut up?
What the hell is wrong with you?
What are you, crazy?
It's okay.
Get the microphone away from him.
And Kevin Nealon is at Caroline's Great Comic. And
Very funny.
It's fine.
Very funny. All right. Now, when we come back, the man that's sitting to the left, would you say I changed your life?
You definitely did.
It's time. It's coming up in a few moments. How Jay Thomas has changed lives. Like today, you were so nervous. You were by yourself, right?
I wasn't nervous. I felt a lot of pressure doing the Jay Thomas show. Now I realize that any idiot could do this. No, I first got this Jay Thomas. He was once a great guy in radio in L.A. And how far the great have fallen.
Wait a minute now. A good friend is on the phone. Coon Dog, before we go away. Yes, Coon Dog. By the way, an incredible superstar will be in our studios in just a few minutes. Do you know who it is, Garrett?
I do.
Oh, you found out?
Yeah.
Okay, they have to call everybody here and tell them. Coon Dog, the great Bobby Slayton is here. How are you?
Well, man, I'm doing better now. I wasn't doing too good 2 days ago. My damn company, I worked for Hauling Pigs, fired me. I worked for the man 5 years. I stole one damn pig, and he fired me.
Well, you're lucky you didn't live in New Orleans. They'd have shot you and given the pig to the police officer. You didn't really lose your job for stealing a pig, did you?
I mean, yeah, that's what he fired me for. I didn't know he had them counted. I just thought he had just a bunch of them in the back of the trailer. I didn't know he had them counted, and it was a little small one. So, I put a little rope around his neck and snuck him off, and because it's a whole damn pig. I had a sale for it.
Now, did you eat the pig yet?
Huh?
Have you eaten the pig yet?
No, I sold it.
You sold the pig.
Yeah, I sold it.
And you lost your job from the pig trucking company.
Yeah. Now I haul chicken.
Now you haul chickens. Now, I'm going to tell you a story that you're not going to believe, but I was driving around with a developer that I know from New Orleans. And we stopped to have lunch, and there is a giant truck filled with huge palm trees. Huge.
Uh-huh.
And the truck driver comes out, and the truck is parked behind the thing, and there's like 6 or 7. They must be 15-year-old palm trees. They're worth $6,000-$7,000 apiece.
Yeah.
This guy says to me, I lost all the trees at my development over here. He says, goddamn, those are fabulous. He went to the driver. He gave him $1,000 a tree, gave him $6 or $7 grand on the spot. And another truck pulled up, and they loaded the trees off. And I said, well, what's he going to tell he's going to tell his boss they were stolen while he was at the truck stop?
Yeah, that's all he got to do.
I saw that happen.
Hey,
I saw it happen.
Hey, Coon. Hey, Coon.
No, Coon Dog.
Hey, Coon Dog.
Coon Dog.
Whatever.
You don't, wait a minute. Ira, you don't yell coon to a black person.
Oh, Coon Dog.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't marry the pig.
Don't marry the pig.
I made that mistake once.
I see. All right, that's Ira the Weatherman, Bobby Slayton. Stay where you are. Do we have some music in a moment for when change lives? All right. When Jay Thomas changes lives, and a special guest on the way.
Jay Thomas.
A lot of people come through the Jay Thomas show over the years, and I thought back, whose life have I really changed? First of all, Ira the Weatherman.
Good afternoon, Jay.
Would you say I changed your life? Would I say you changed your life?
Yes, you did. You made me really, really important We're serious.
That's exactly right. Shuli, whose life I changed. Bobby Slayton, would you say I've changed your life in some small
I'd
way?
like you to change my life. My life is really in the crapper right now. Any little thing you could do?
It's a change for you? Okay.
Just a little. Not much. I'm not asking for much.
Years ago, I had a thing. I was on, I don't know, what station was I on?
Jammin' 105.
Jammin' 105, right? I didn't last long there, but I was there long enough. And you called up, didn't you, Ken?
What city was that in?
New York City. Right.
Yeah, it was a contest. Okay, call in a radio contest to be a disc jockey for the day.
DJ for the day.
And I told them about my career as a respiratory therapist, and I wanted to.
How long did you go to school to be a respiratory therapist?
Well, I graduated 1972, Manhattan Community College.
Right.
And I went to work in hospitals and went into the home care field in the 80s. And
so 20-something years you were in this field.
Yes.
25 years.
Exactly.
Respiratory therapist.
Yes.
Saving lives.
Saving lives.
Helping people.
Glamorous.
Right.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Right.
And then
yes.
I've always loved music, and I've listened to the Jammin' 105 radio show, and I said, time to change careers and become a disc jockey. And by listening to your show,
that's right.
Get on the air. You changed my life, Jay Thomas.
And this is what I said to him.
Right.
Quit that respiratory. You're married with the children, weren't you?
I'm still married.
Quit that respiratory therapist job and get a van. Didn't I tell you to get a van?
That's it.
And start playing bar mitzvahs.
Right.
And did you do it?
We did bar mitzvahs. We did weddings, and we do oldie shows.
That's right.
To raise money for charities.
Have you ever gone back to the respiratory therapy thing?
Well, I have to do that during the week. Yes.
But on the weekends, you are a disc jockey.
Rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, a life has been. Oh, wait a minute! Hello, Cheech. How are you?
Hi, Cheech. How are you, man?
Bobby Slayton. How you, Bobby Slayton? What's up?
Cheech, talk right into that mic.
Hello. Testes, balls. 1, 2, 1, 2.
There you go.
How you doing, Cheech?
I'm just lovely.
All right.
How you doing, Cheech?
How good?
Hold on. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Before we go another step further, what can we promote for you?
My new website, it's a combination between MySpace and Facebook. It's called getonmyface.com. So please come in and search and see what.
How come you have such a... See, you know you made it in showbiz when you get an entourage of beautiful girls. You have a publicist. Yeah, well, who are those women? That's more important.
These are the called the latest bitches. And they're my staff, my support staff.
Got it.
I just recently saw the documentary about you and Tommy getting back together. If you haven't, I don't know when that was done.
We did it last year.
It is fantastic.
It is pretty good.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. And is that going to happen again? Are you going to go back out?
We're on tour right now on theaters and drive-ins, concert stages near you.
That's great.
We just were in someplace. Where were we?
Don't worry.
Louisville, Washington, D.C., South Bend, Indiana.
Hold on one second. What's the weather in Louisville, please, the weatherman?
Louisville, it's around 78 degrees
yes,
today on the beautiful sky.
Was it 78 there?
It was probably 72.
Oh, all right.
So, Cheech, I hope Tommy's...
I went up a few points.
I hope Tommy's wife, she's not opening up for you.
She still is.
Yeah. Now, how does she do?
Wait a minute.
I've heard,
Can I say something? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I made fun of her when you were with me, and then he came on the show, and I shit on him, too, and I thought she was pretty funny.
She's very good.
I thought she was funny.
She's very good, and she's getting better all the time. She's getting a lot of balls, man.
I was surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we went on to it.
How do old, beat-up guys get good-looking women? Do you have a new, young, beautiful wife now?
I do.
Yeah. How does that... Because you look in the mirror, you do see what I see.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What is the attraction to... And Bobby has a beautiful wife, but she married him when he was very young.
Right. Yeah.
I still wasn't good-looking then.
But when you look at the young, beautiful wife...
Yeah.
And then you look at yourself, what relative do you look at like? I look like my Uncle Gus. Who do you look like in your family?
Secretariat.
You look like Secretariat. Do you ever worry that her attraction is only because you're the famous Cheech?
Well, I hope so. I mean, something's got to attract them.
Right. But you're married how long now?
Since August.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. She's a beautiful Russian concert pianist, speaks 5 languages, is gorgeous beyond belief, smarter than anybody I've ever met, and loves me, so she got to be on it.
Wow.
Fame and money, you got to admit. I mean, you look at anybody. The other day I saw Michael Bolton, who looks like Uncle Creepy with this hot young piece of ass. I mean, if you have money, you're famous.
Something's got to attract them. You can be the best looking, you could be the smartest, you could be the richest, you could be the tallest,
You've got to have S at the end of it. Some S at the end of it.
Some S, yeah.
At the end of it.
Then you got to make them laugh,
Now, I've told this story before, but I don't know if I told it with you here. We go to to your house at Deer Valley or Deer Valley, and we're skiing, and it says, come to the condo. My wife goes, and we're married like about 5 or 6 years. We just have a little baby, and we go to the thing, and we get into Cheech's condo, and of course, they're just like in a movie. There's a pot, and we're smoking joints, we're having a big time, and we go down the mountain later. And my wife didn't say very much when she was there with us. And we're going down the mountain, and I'm jabbering and jabbering. We get to the bottom, and she gets a cell phone out, and she calls somebody. Mm-hmm. And I go, what are you doing? She goes, she's quiet. And I hear a woman go, oh. And she goes, is David there, please? And I'm like, tell him this is his old girlfriend from college. And I said, what are you doing? She said, shh. This guy gets to the phone. Hello? She goes, David, it's me, Sally. I just smoked pot with Cheech. I swear to God. That is a true, I've told you this, that's a true story.
And you're asking what attracts him? That's
it,
unbelievable.
She didn't speak for
man.
She was so excited to be
I like
there.
those silent girls.
Yeah, very nice.
They're very good.
Very, very nice.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Do you sell merchandise after your shows? You guys ever go out and sign stuff?
Yes.
Because I know that Tommy, I know he's a good friend of mine, but I remember what balls this takes. Tommy, after the shows, I don't know if he still does this, but he used to sell, if you sell T-shirts and CDs and you sign them and DVDs, but Tommy used to get regular Glad baggies and sell them for $5 and go a Cheech and Chong stash bag. It was a regular goddamn. Does he still do that crap?
Not anymore.
I mean, God bless him. Only in America.
Well, part of that documentary is how they threw his ass in jail, which I never knew was for selling
bongs,
glass bongs.
Well, it wasn't him; that was his son.
It was
right?
his son.
And they set him up, right?
Yeah, they said if either you come and step up and take the rap, or we'll send your wife and son to jail.
God. And it's not like he was the only person doing this.
He was the least. It was a 3-year sting that had involved 54 people, 54 different companies. He was the least of them. He was the smallest one, but he was the biggest face.
He was the biggest example.
And so they sent him to did 9 months in federal penitentiary.
They set him up too big time.
It was a setup, and it was like, I mean, he went to Camp Cupcake. I mean, The Rock, and but he, actually, all told, he probably liked it. No listening to any old lady.
Just spend a lot of money on the lawyers and trying to get out and
absolutely.
I mean, you're trying not to go. By the way, I don't know what is the name of that documentary.
It's called Hey, Watch This.
Yeah, it is. Go out of your way to watch it. It's fantastic.
It's very
Where
good.
are you guys this week or this weekend?
We were just in South Bend, Indiana, and then we go to someplace else. This has an audience.
Go to sitonmyface.com.
GetOnMyFace.com.
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 GetOnMyFace.com. It's around 89 degrees.
Oh. Well, it gets hotter, though.
That's our the weatherman.
It's gonna get hot.
Very good. Boy, this is higher than the handicap stuff.
The guy can actually tell the weather. You don't know this. He doesn't know this. How is
No. He can tell the weather. He's a clairvoyant with the weather. And
really?
So with no map, no nothing.
And he's sitting in America. People are calling in. I still think
he's sitting in America. People call in, and he gives the weather, and he's not off by more than a few degrees.
Really? How do you do that? Is it like an internal?
I do it.
It's like the movie Rain Man when he drops the matches.
How do you be funny?
I do it.
I do it.
Yeah,
I
there we
got
go.
a crystal ball in my pocket.
All right.
Or I'm glad to see you.
Any of your kids? Any of your kids going to do this for a living? You think?
My son Joey is on tour with us. He's a DJ. He was a DJ, a big DJ in the Bay Area.
You mean spinning? That's what Ken does. He's a DJ. Yeah.
And he does
bar mitzvahs and weddings.
Anything that pays.
Right.
And he opens the show for us. There's a half-an-hour set, and then he does all our music and lights.
But no, he's not a joke teller.
No, he's a DJ. He's a musician. He's been a musician.
But no comedians coming up.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
You can never tell.
Does your new wife, go on tour with you?
Every once in a while. She's Russian. She's from St. Petersburg, Russia. So she wants to see any place that she hasn't been before. So,
how did she like South Bend, Indiana?
She didn't go there. I was like, I saw it on TV. That's
even
fine.
Someone from Russia's like, that's cool. Go for it.
And have you met her family in St.
Her mother lives with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bob. We call her Bob because in Russian, grandmother is babushka, not babushka, babushka. And so I said, I ain't saying that shit every time. I said, okay, you're Bob now.
You call the mother Bob.
Yeah, Bob. Yo, Bob.
So
in Russia, it's around 99 degrees.
Very hot in Russia right now.
Ooh, 99 in Russia.
No, it's colder there, I think, sometimes. Cold. So is it a green card thing, too? Is she going to get the green card?
Who, the wife?
The wife.
The wife's a citizen.
Wow, I can't find any holes in this.
No. I mean, she's young, beautiful, super intelligent, and
I can't find a hole.
I'll tell you the whole. If things don't work out, he can't threaten to send her back. That's the great thing about the mail order brides.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal did that. You give me crap, go back to Russia. I'm sending you back to the Philippines. And
we can send the mother back, which we're in the process of doing. And so we told her, we said, because she's relatively young, we said, and she's good looking, educated, and she's a widow. So we're thinking, we got to set Bob up, hook her up with somebody. So has to be somebody that's age appropriate but fun. So we thought Mick Jagger, okay, So we call, hey, we're going to set you over with Mick Jagger. So she was all into it, And her first question was, does he have a job?
Now, when you go back to Russia, do they know who you are?
No, they don't. No, the mother knew who I was because of Tin Cup. For some reason, she had seen the movie.
But Cheech and Chong were not international.
No. Oh, not in Russia. No, they didn't have.
They didn't let you do that.
They didn't have records.
Did your wife know of you?
No.
So what? Did you show her your movie?
No, she Googled me.
Really?
And then I Googled her back.
Where did you meet her? Where did you meet her?
In L.A. I was introduced by friends.
So she meets this a little short Mexican fellow, and she's a tall, beautiful Russian woman, and fell in love with you
instantly,
and didn't know you were Cheech.
No, had no idea.
Wow.
She said, but she was introduced. Well, I got introduced to her, and I was obviously attracted, and I said, but I was still legally married at the time. I was separated from my wife. So we had been separated like 4 or 5 years.
A long time, right? Yeah.
And she was engaged to this guy, but she told me when she met, I'm in the process of ending this engagement and moving out on my own. I said, honey, when you do that, after you move out, because I got a bunch on my plate right now, I'll give you a call. And so a year later, my friend says, hey, she's all, so I called her up and we've been married.
Did she give the ring back or keep it?
She did. I think she gave it back.
Okay.
She made room for a new one.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. And then you don't know where you are this weekend, but go to...
so you can go cheechandchong.com, which is all things Cheech and Chong.
Right.
Or you can go on getonmyface.com.
Getonmyface.com.
Or you can just go to comics in New York where I'm playing and don't even bother to go to the website. Just go see me.
We got the perfect game coming out. Did I talk about that?
No, what?
Oh, that's why I'm here.
Oh, what is it?
In New York, I have a movie opening up Friday. Mm-hmm. It's called The Perfect Game. It's the true story of the 1957 Monterrey, Mexico Little League team that won the World Championship.
Is Clifton
Collins Jr.?
Yeah, Clifton Collins Jr. and I just met in Santa Barbara at the film festival.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we had dinner. We had a good time. He's
a good guy.
He's a great guy.
He plays the coach.
Right.
I play the priest. I'm the priest.
With the little boys?
With the little boys. I'm very spiritual and very nurturing to them.
What's it called? The Perfect Game.
The Perfect Game, because in the final game, the championship game, Angel Mejias, this little Mexican kid, threw a perfect game. Only time it's ever been done.
In Little League?
In Little League. And he could pitch right and left-handed.
Where is he today?
He is in Monterrey, Mexico. He's one of the big guys, the elders of the city.
So he's like a grown-up now, and it's a true story.
Yeah.
And the perfect game.
When this story happened, I was actually in Little League at the time. I was exactly the same age as this kid. I looked exactly like him. They were all little, really little. Mm-hmm. They were on average 50 pounds lighter and 6 inches shorter than the competition. And they won 13 straight games, sometimes 15-0, sometimes 12-13, and they beat everybody. And then they did it the next year again.
Now, when you were in Little League, did they have you go bada 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 swing?
Yeah. Oh,
did anybody ever swing when you did that?
No.
Did you do that in Little League?
No,
we were supposed to yell at the batter. You go bada 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 swing.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody that ever did anything. Right?
Pitcher's got a rubber arm.
Jimmy Church, where are you gonna be? Where are you gonna be over the weekend?
I'm sorry, not Cheech.
I meant Cheech.
That's Cheech. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Cheech.
That's okay. You're doing good. It's heating up in here.
Cheech, thank you very much.
Cheech,
I mean, you can stay as long as you want.
I got to blow. Always a pleasure, man.
Thank you. Bobby Slayton is here. We'll come back.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He'll
be here all the week.
Rappaport will be here. We changed his life years ago. He was a respiratory therapist and he became a disc jockey.
Really?
Because of listening to the Jay Thomas Show.
Very good.
The great Shuli Ira, the weatherman, is here, and all of us together at Sirius 108 XM 139.
If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? The words will never show the you I've come to know. And if a face could launch 1,000 ships,
I don't know. I have no idea.
then where am I to go?
Telly Savalas.
Oh, of course.
Original Kojak.
Who is that? The original Kojak.
There's no one home.
Who's that woman that's in the...
But you.
Wow.
You're all that's left me to.
Oh, he's smoking a cigarette while he's doing it.
And when, my love, for life is running dry.
No, it's like William Shatner. But they were serious about it.
Oh, yeah. We saw Shatner in MacArthur Park, and somebody left the kick out of it.
But they meant it.
And listen, this guy was
and Telly Savalas meant this, right? You turn it up again, please.
You really need the visual, though. It's great to see it.
Could be two places.
You're listening to audio video on the Jay Thomas Show, where we play the audio and you imagine the video. There's a lot of features in this show.
It's great. It's full of surprises, your show. Hey, you know, it's amazing to me. I've never been on your show live. You know, when you were on in L.A., people don't know this. You have like the number 1, number 2 show. Were you on the same time as that retard Rick Dees?
Yes.
Can I use the word retard if I'm not talking about the weatherman?
Exactly.
Okay. I'm not sure when retard's okay if I'm focusing it on somebody else.
Right.
But Rick Dees.
You have got to stop it.
Okay.
Right
Rick Dees.
Yeah.
Rick Dees. Now, remember him?
Rick Dees has a top 40 show.
That's right.
Or he did. Does he
still does?
Oh, he does.
Somebody asked me today, what is he doing? He's on some peanut whistle signal in, L.A., like KKDJ or something. And, I don't know he doesn't need any money. And I don't know why he does it.
Well, he was the biggest guy in L.A.
Yeah.
And I had done a show once, and he was very pleasant, but very robotic. And he had a TV show for a while. He did one with Pat Sajak, did it, Joan Rivers did it.
Right.
That's Arsenio Hall and George Lopez.
He was worried about how he looked. And you can't go on TV. He had ABC late night. He had like Jay Leno late night. They gave him a big time talk show.
I went on his show and I pulled down my pants and showed the tattoo on my ass, and I'll just never forget the look on his face. I knew I wasn't going to do the show again. I knew it wasn't going to last, so when I pulled down my pants and showed the tattoo on my ass, and it was just
tattoo has around 500 degrees.
What's the tattoo of?
I'll show you later.
Okay, fine. Okay. Well, and he's a nice guy, but what happened was, when I came to town, nobody in LA had ever been, a put down, jock, right?
Right.
But so I started making fun of him and his family, and he was in a parade with his kid, and his son was really fat. And I came on the air and I said, geez, I had a kid that looked like that. I wouldn't show him off in public. I really wouldn't.
Well, I would just say it's a float. And he just said the float,
Well, he got very upset, as he would, making fun of his child.
Yeah.
And he starts calling me. I say, Rick, what act did you think I had, man? I was in New York, for years, and I've come out here now. I was in North Carolina. And I said, this is what I do. And he said, I'll never speak to you again. I said, okay, well, so then I got his mother on the air. I called his mother at home in Macon, Georgia, and I put her on the air, and I said nice things about him, and I had her cut me a promo. Hi, this is,
that's great.
Rick Dees' his mother, and I listen to the Jay Thomas Show every chance I get. And he went absolutely nuts. I saw it's been about maybe 15 years. I saw him at a golf course once, and I'm going up the fairway on one side, and he hits the ball on the other fairway, and so we're like parallel to each other, but on opposing fairways. Now this sounds like a joke. He gets out a club, and there's a little creek between us, and yeah. So
Caddyshack moment here.
I walk up, and he's like, he's a great golfer. He's getting ready to hit, and I go, hey, Rick! And he goes, oh, yeah, hey, hi, yeah, hey, hi. And he's playing with Joe Pesci. Right into a tree, he hits the ball. Right into it. And I said, this is like a movie, man. The guy you hate made you hit it into a tree. And you're right, he stayed pleasant. I think that he has to stay pleasant all the time.
Yeah, well, that's what's frightening, though. It's a Stepford kind of DJ wife kind of
thing. Right. We will come back and have a life-changing story again.
More stories?
Unbelievable.
You know what's amazing? We've only been in for an hour. I feel like I've been on the air for 5 hours already. I look at the clock.
No, it's
4
just the opposite. It's supposed to go by fast. It's really slow.
Oh, my God. I feel like I'm in solitary confinement with other people. This is just brutal. But I'm having a good time.
Back in the hole, Slayton.
I'm going to have you all guess. Hi, the Jay Thomas Show. A man whose life I changed, Ken Kojak Rappaport, and we'll continue talking to him. Of course, the Cheech walked in. Bobby Slayton is here. Shuley left the building. He can't take it. We'll have a guy coming up in a few minutes that will talk about how you can have casual sex on Craigslist. and how wonderful it is.
That sounds great. Before you introduce your next guest, I just had one of those magical moments where you introduced me to Cousin Brucey, who I grew up with. And I'm sure he's sick of hearing. I love Cousin Brucey.
Now, do you know what he just did to me?
Yeah, I saw you go into the bathroom. I saw him do something, and you screamed. What did he do?
Well, he came to work here, and he came on the air, and everybody was cursing because we're all excited that we could curse, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So we're like little kids with a new stick. And so he said to me in the hall once, he said, "You know, Jay, you don't have to use that kind of language to be funny. You're funny on your own. You're a great broadcaster, and I just want you to not lose." He gave me this big speech.
Can't you do a better Cousin Bruce impression when you do it, though?
Hello, boys. There you go. So he came on the show a couple of times, and I said, "Don't you ever curse or anything?" He says, "No, I never curse and all that." Just now, we've been here all 5.5 years. Right. He grabbed me, and in my ear, he went, fuck. But
that must have meant a lot to him.
It meant a lot to me. Okay. I'm not going to tell everybody. Well, first of all, I'll say his name. Joey Cavello is here.
Right.
Joey, that's Ken.
Hi, Ken.
That's Ken. This guy over here, that's Garrett.
Hey, Garrett.
That's our weatherman over there.
Hello.
Bobby Slayton, the great comedian, who'll be at Comics on Friday and Saturday night.
Maybe
and that's Christina. That's my fiancée, Christina.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Now,
way too good for you.
We'll go around the horn.
What are you doing with him?
I'm famous and I'm old. We'll go around the horn and we'll.
First of all, Jay.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Kojak.
Yes.
Ken Rappaport.
Yes.
He is a legend.
Yeah, well, not now. Let's do it later.
See what
call us at 888-410-102-102.
Is there something
and
wrong
you
with
will
him?
try and figure out this man introduced me to something in my life, and we'll go around the horn and try and figure out what it is. Play the go around the horn music. There we go. Ira, what do you think Joey Cavello introduced me to?
Joey Cavello introduced
in Boston. I was a DJ in Boston. What did he introduce you to? What?
While you're thinking, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would have to say, just looking at him,
right?
I just don't think this is an insult or a compliment.
What is it?
Cocaine.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's cocaine. It's cocaine.
That was not planned.
It's cocaine.
How could you tell?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I don't know why.
You win a Home Medics shiatsu pillow.
That's nice. That's nice.
That was given to me. Howard Stern gave me that in the hall a little while ago. Said, "Here, Jay, here's the shiatsu pillow."
You know, my wife would probably love this, but in quarantine, I can't carry this around, so I'll donate this to charity.
All right, there we go.
Wait, no, I don't know why I thought that. You don't look like a coke addict. You don't look like you're high. I just look like that.
Joey's been Joey has been in the music business forever. I come, I acted wild in radio, but I wasn't wild in real life. And I believe I stayed at your home.
Yes, you did. Well, you got wild then.
That's right. And you were married at the time. You were married at the time.
I still messed around.
And you messed around. And so I'm there. And the next thing you know, I say, "Look, I have to get up early tomorrow morning." And did you break it?
Yeah, I think I did.
Now, what year is this, Jay?
We don't want to go.
It's got to be.
We don't want to go to any years.
Early 80s.
Early 80s.
Early 80s.
And what did I act like when the drug was first administered to me?
You kind of lifted a little.
Yeah.
Was it a big line? Was it a small line?
No. What I did was
it was a continuous line.
I rolled up like maybe 2 or 3 lines in a dollar bill, and I blasted it into his mouth. And it actually
he couldn't snort it himself?
No, I didn't know how to do anything.
How hard is that?
He couldn't get the straw in the nose.
I couldn't do anything.
I couldn't do anything. Put some hair around it.
I didn't know what to do.
When my daughter was 7, it turned out to blow. She knew how to handle it. A 7-year-old could do it.
When I blew it, it came out the other nostril, and I got a hit. So we kind of shared a line together.
Yes.
And from then, we went out. I worked in the clubs in Boston. I was a DJ.
Right.
Took him out, got him hooked up. And all I remember is that he calls me the next day and I said, "Where are you?" He said, "I'm going to church."
With the woman that he introduced me to, we slept together all night and did blow all night, and then she got up and said, "We have to go to Mass." I said, "You're kidding, right?"
It was Boston. So
and we went to Mass the next day. And you know what? You got to go to either shul or to church loaded. You have to, it's an experience.
Those days are over for me, but I just remember I never liked staying up all night and the next
What?
day, you know. I mean, the way it is now, I mean, my sinuses are constantly clogged up without the Coke.
Yeah.
Could you still find me an 8-ball, by the way? I'm working this week. No, I'm fine.
And Joe, are you still in the record business?
Yes, I am.
Now, in those days, you would give money to people, you would give drugs. This is, 20-something years ago. Has it changed a lot?
I never gave money. I gave drugs. I
Never.
was not a money guy. I was a drug guy.
Did
I was
you
a
give
party guy.
Did you give hookers?
I didn't have hookers. I had girls that would fuck guys for free just because I told them to, because if they didn't, I didn't give them any cocaine.
Right, I see.
So
right.
that was it. That was
and
it.
you shaved your head
Yes.
and everything, and so and you're still alive. Now, one guy
Yes, I saw
we helped kill.
Yes.
The program director, Sonny Joe White.
God bless him. Sonny
And he
Joe.
died probably because of...
It was Sonny had stopped. He cleaned his act up, but it was
he
too
died
late.
anyway. It was too
It
late.
was too late. He abused
You feel
his body.
I
badly?
remember Sonny Joe.
Right.
Something
when I
No,
brought
it's fine.
over something to the old radio station
Right.
way back.
Really?
This guy, Sonny Joe,
Right.
he says to me, "How did you get in the doorway?"
Really?
He sounds exactly like
I
Henry
have to
Youngman.
leave something over here for the morning team.
That
for
was
the morning.
that. Get him off the microphone. We don't need to hear that story now. All right, we don't need to hear that.
So
story.
you in radio in the days with Charlie Lacudera from CBS?
Oh my God! I used to call him Charles Lack of Talent, and he got mad. Got upset.
He was a big guy in Boston. He was like the guy.
He retired and moved to
Hawaii or something? Yep.
What do you? I mean, when you retire off the radio, which is one of the easiest jobs in the world, what do you retire to do? I mean, not talk.
I mean, he did his show from a bed. So he did. Charles Lackner was called the Big Mattress. Remember, he did it from the view.
But I thought that was a joke.
No. They hooked up the studio in his bed. No. He did.
He would sit in the bed.
He did his show. They brought a bed into the studio and they set it up. And he
Easiest
did it from
job
the bed.
in America. This friggin' DJ
How do you
thing.
retire from that? No.
How do you retire from that?
You know what I mean? What do you
Right.
do?
Wow.
You know?
And Howard is a big discussion now whether he's going to stay, he's going to go. All right, I'm just going to say he makes $110 million a year. He has no hobbies. He works 4 days a week and he gets 10 weeks a year off. He's considering quitting.
I understand why he's doing that. I mean,
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't.
He probably, I don't know him that well, but it seems like he's the kind of guy that will, has to do this. But
I guess
if you were making that kind of money and you had $1 billion, you wouldn't just walk away from this, Jay?
I would. I have hobbies and shit.
I would. I'd walk away.
What do you do? What is your hobby, Joey?
I do a lot of cocaine. I do,
is that your
which keeps him awake to pursue the hobbies he might have in the near
It's
future.
an expensive motherfucker, but it keeps me up so I can make money.
What record are you plugging right now that we can help you with?
Well,
By the way, they come in, the record company gives you the records.
Yeah.
He's an independent promoter, right? And are you in town this weekend?
I'm here forever. I live in Jersey.
He is Bobby Slayton is at Comics
Beautiful
on
comedy club.
Saturday, Friday and Saturday night.
Bring an 8-ball.
All right. So what record are you plugging today?
I'm finishing up the Little John project. He's got a record called Out of Your Mind with LFMAO.
Do we have it in our profit system?
Fuck, you
The
guys
Telly
are-
Savalas piece wasn't yours. That wasn't you.
No, he
Actually,
didn't.
I'm fucking working Happy Birthday. You get that?
No, do you have, we don't have, they haven't started playing it yet.
No, I think so. Yeah, this here someplace. Out of Your Mind by Little John. It's
Out of Your Mind by Little John? And so the record company or the producers.
I work for the artists. I don't work for record labels anymore. Fuck record labels. Don't want to do it. Don't have time.
So
for
the
it.
artist hires you
I
and
work
says,
for
let
artists.
people know about my music.
I work for artists, producers, writers, and I have my own label. So I have my own artists.
All right.
I'm bringing them.
Is it Little 8-Ball? What's the name of the label? 8-Ball?
Wait till you hear my daughter,
Schnitz.
Natasha Slayton. She's going to be a giant star. She just recorded a CD.
I'll give you my card before I leave.
You got it.
I'd love to hear.
Do
it.
we
I almost
have any
brought it
Little
with me.
John music here?
We do, just not that song.
You know that song?
Youth in the Ghetto.
Nah.
All who
Forget
gone.
that.
Say what you saying.
Nah, forget it.
No, I didn't work any of those, so I don't make any money. at
So
the point.
what channel is it you want it to go on? Do you know the channel?
Well, I have a dance record for BPM, so I'm working with Geronimo and.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
Add Little John.
Well, he's got that. Little John's already done.
All right.
I'm more interested. That's a closeout. I'm more interested in this chick Karima, Swedish broad I got.
Karima,
and this kid Tino Corey out of Pittsburgh. Forget about this.
they
This is
love
Karima.
Swedish music here.
Oh yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, they love Swedish
Didn't
music.
Little John ever perform at Lincoln Center, the out-of-door shows?
Little John at Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
You think so? No.
I think so.
He's talking to me. Do I talk back?
Yeah, talk back to him. Sure, go ahead.
I'll show you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Cavello! Hey!
Hey!
Wow. Thank you very much, Jay. Nice to see you,
it was great seeing
my
you
old
again.
friend. Great guy. Bye-bye.
Can you imagine, you're walking down the hall and you see a guy from 20-something years ago that you haven't seen in that long, and you remember those nights and that wife is gone, right?
I'm 2 wives deep now. I'm on my
I
third.
see. On
Best
the third
wife I
one.
ever had.
Oh, she's the best. They're all
tits.
big tits. All right.
Am I the only guy that stays married for 22 years? I mean, how long were you married for? You married twice?
I'm married 3 times.
Oh my God!
I'm married.
And you really going to marry her? No.
And the 4th is going to be Christina.
Really?
You know what, Bobby? What? Cheech was just here. He's on his 4th young wife, which is from Russia. Now, by the way, what did you think of that? That the tall, beautiful Russian meets the little, short Mexican guy and didn't know who he was and fell in love with him. That's odd, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure there's more to the story than
yeah.
I'm sure there's more to it. I'm sure.
And he's a lovely man.
He's a great guy.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
But on a normal day, the tall, beautiful Russian doesn't.
No, you know what? But then again, you walk down the street and you see a lot of women with trolley-looking guys, and
he does look like a troll, doesn't he?
Well, I wasn't saying him particularly.
Well, he does. He has that trolley head, doesn't he?
No. I'm just saying that you see. Right. I'm sure people look at me and say, "How did he get her?" But you see it.
Your wife is like model beautiful, but you met her. You were both young and you were
beautiful.
And you
I
were
was
handsome.
never beautiful.
No, but you're fresh faced back then.
Right.
You know,
I had a better outlook on life. Women like a guy with a good personality.
No, I mean when I was, I look at pictures when I was young. I weighed 160 pounds, in fabulous shape, long hair and all. I mean, I weigh 190 pounds now.
Right.
And all I can get are young women who hope I die, and I'm just like their dad. There you go.
Is that why you married him?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
We've been to therapy. All right, let's play Changes again because we interrupted. Remember in the middle of the show with poor Ken Rappaport, whose life I changed. And you're so excited to be here, aren't you, Ken?
Very, very excited.
Very excited. But it's not going the way you planned. We haven't focused on you, have we, really?
No, we haven't focused because there's been other guests that
Cheech came in. My drug dealer came in. It's been bad. All right, and then Bobby Slayton came in.
Everybody's here.
And, Shuli knew not to even fight this. All right, here we go. It's time now for How I Changed a Man's Life.
I'm much too fast to take that test.
There you go. All right. It was many years ago. I was in New York, and the man came in. I said, "Stop being a respiratory therapist. Buy a van and be a DJ at a bar mitzvah,
a mobile DJ."
Now, people in the movies, you ever see the movies where they make fun of the mobile DJ? Mm-hmm. Does that bother you that they make fun of the mobile DJ?
No,
not at all.
Not at all. No.
Have you seen the movie The Wedding Planner? Did you ever see that movie?
Yes.
There's a mobile DJ in that, and so you play. Do they ever get upset by the music you play? Do you play a set that makes people not dance?
No. You have to play the room. You have to play the crowd. You have to see who's out there, and then you play music based on what kind of crowd you have. And you have people coming over to request certain songs, which will.
What do you play for old Jews?
Hava Nagila.
No, but I mean, what other songs beside that? What sort of modern dance music would you play for them?
Well, we would play a mix like the Jive Bunny mix when we do a little dance routine on the floor.
The Jive Bunny mix.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you're looking at me like I'm an old Jew.
No, it's a science. I'm looking at you like it's a science. Every job, your comedy, when you write, when you think, it's a science. When you put a show together, there's a beginning, there's a callback, right? You got the callback, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to work that way, yes.
No, but
generally, yes.
I mean, I was stunned when I first became a stand-up comic how you guys had an act. I was shocked that you weren't just thinking of it. I mean it. And the next night I couldn't think of what I thought of the night before, so I was in trouble. I didn't know that you guys thought of stuff and said the same thing every night.
People say that to me all the time. Do you come up with new stuff every night? Is that a new act every night? And you'd have to be. How you come up with a new hour every night?
You couldn't. But what's great about it is it looks like you're just talking about it. And something comes up every night, right? Some little.
Well, for me, something comes up every night. You'd be amazed how many people do the same act every night for years, and once in a while throw in a new joke. After doing that Showtime special for an hour, I now have to develop another hour. So this
because everybody saw the material.
Yeah, but not as many people saw it as I hope saw it. Wish I'd seen it.
They're going to run it 3,000 or 4,000 times.
Right, it comes out on DVD next week.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what's amazing is I'm playing Florida last week, and every night I did a different hour. Some of it was old stuff that wasn't on there, some of it was new stuff that wasn't on there, and a little bit of it was stuff that, there's guys like Seinfeld and guys like Chris Rock, and I mean, some of these guys can just keep writing. Bill Maher has had 9 HBO specials. I'm sure he has writers, and I'm sure he has people who work on his TV show help him. I have nobody helping me, but
Wait a minute. I'll help you.
You will?
Yeah.
You're having a hard enough time with your own show.
No, but would I have a credit? I like when it goes written by, and it would say Bobby Slayton and Jay Thomas. Would you put or you wouldn't want my name on it?
No. I see. I'd be happy to put somebody's name, but you'd have to write a lot of it.
Garrett would help us.
If you write me one or two jokes, you don't get credit for writing.
I would sit with you and we'd develop the whole bit.
I've never been good at that. I can't sit and write jokes. I'm so
not jokes. I develop ideas. That's what Jay Thomas Enterprises is all about.
By the time we leave,
idea development.
Okay. By the time we leave here,
right.
we have over an hour and a half.
Right.
Just come up with a concept. It doesn't have to be on the air or off the air, and see if we can run with that.
I don't know if I can do it when I'm on the air.
What do you do the commercial break? If I give you a concept, can you come up with a punchline?
I don't know. I don't know how it would work. I just know that I could do it.
All I know is I walk around talking about myself like a mental patient, which is why I love New York so much. I walk around New York, Chicago.
Right.
I can't do it at home in L.A. because there's no walking, and it's not the same when you're home because you realize.
I had a bunch of ideas until you just said, do it, and now they went away.
Well, we'll get them back to you in a second.
I had them.
We'll get them. I'll give them back to you.
Let me go back to Ken. Ken, why do you have all that paper in your hand? Are you plugging something you're doing? Yes, go ahead.
Well, I'm just giving you a little idea what I've done over the years.
Right.
Okay, I've worked with the legendary Frankie Lyman's Teenagers.
Now, I thought he was dead. I thought he died of a drug overdose.
Well, he did, but there's still teenagers
the
performing.
Teenagers are still. How old are the teenagers that are performing?
They're in their 60s.
I see.
Okay. We have
the teenagers.
They're like the Beach Boys. Shouldn't it be the Beach Men? Shouldn't they just move up one drop?
How about the Letterman? How about those guys? Remember the Letterman? The four freshmen.
Well, there's only one Letterman left. He should be just a letter guy. It's not Letterman anymore. The letter man.
How about the four dead guys? Yeah. I'm sorry, Ken.
And also, Don.
Where are you performing?
Well, I've done it with Don K. Reed from CBS FM.
I know. Where are you performing this weekend?
This weekend will be in Oceanside at the American Legion Hall. With Fred Lando, Freddie Flip from the Bronx, the Boogie Down Bronx.
Do you know Freddie Flip?
No, I've never heard of him.
You've never heard of him?
You have to hear him.
Yes. And what
great voice.
Yeah, and what else?
Okay, so that's what we're doing now. Over the summertime, we'll do some shows with...
And where can people contact you?
You can contact me at kenkojak@hotmail.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Kojak. I changed... Now,
we have people on the line that would love to speak to.
I mean, we can't go on forever with this. I mean...
Yeah, but the poor guy's on the line for like 28 minutes.
How do you know he wants to talk to you?
But you told him to call, Ken. It's not the same as a spontaneous call.
Well, Don K. Reed was on the line for 35 minutes.
And he's probably looking for work. But, and now, is this a friend of yours that's calling?
No, actually, Wayne has a public access TV show with music. Wayne Gillis.
Wayne, welcome to the Jay Thomas Show. Bobby Slayton is here.
Hey.
How are you, Wayne?
Okay, Jay. How you doing?
I'm good. What is the name? Now, has Ken Kojak ever told you how I changed his life?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Not only did, you change his life, but in a way you changed mine.
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. Play the music again, would you please? This is unbelievable, isn't it? The people.
It's fascinating.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize it either. I didn't know that it was going to happen.
Whoa.
Yeah, well.
We're going to play the music one more time. Are you ready?
Here
we go. Time now for how Jay Thomas changed another life. We thought it was like a one-off.
That's amazing.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
All right. Now, Ken Kojak became a mobile DJ. Wayne, how did I change your life?
Well, actually, by changing Ken's, giving him access to all his talent.
Yes.
Wonderful talent.
Yes.
On my community access show, I have access to talent through Ken.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's like going around your thumb to get to your asshole, but that's a great story. I can tell you that. Now, listen, what talent has he brought you, and what channel are you on?
Okay. Well, he's brought me, say, like Barbara Harris and the Toys Band. And the Paradons, Chaperones, Larry Chance and the Earls. And,
wow.
Yeah.
Do any of these people ever come with aluminum walkers when they come on your show? Do they ever limp?
No, they're not that old yet.
They're not that old yet.
No.
Now, Wayne, tell everybody where your channel is. Where are you located?
Well, okay, I'm in Brooklyn and Queens. Queens Public Access.
Go to Queens Public Access and we can find Wayne Gillis.
Yeah, tell them the station you're on Public Access, Wayne.
Well, it's actually, between Time Warner, Verizon, RCN. But probably the easiest thing, if you go to gbshow.com, you can find out all the information.
All right, play the music again. Play it again. You've been listening to How Jay Thomas Changes Your Lives. Ken Kojak and Wayne Gillis. Thank you very much.
Hey, what happened to Marty?
Marty, we can't. Well, no, wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, more people?
Marty, one other one.
I could have people call.
Wait a minute. One other guy,
yes.
Marty.
Hello, Marty. How are you? Did I change your life too,
Hello,
Marty? Marty, now are you all friends with Ira at the same time?
No, how you doing?
Good, Marty. How did I change your life, Marty?
Oh, boy. Jay, I remember when Ken was very young.
and said that he was sweating like a refrigerator on a hot day.
Okay, great. Play the music. Play the music. It's unbelievable, the things that have happened. All right, the Jay Thomas Show, where lives are being changed minute by minute. Bobby Slayton at Comics this weekend, and we'll be right back. Wow. Go to jthomas.com, and whatever we talk about here, I think somebody must put it on the internet. I guess you do. Somebody does. I don't go there. When you go on Craigslist, you can find almost anything you want. I think maybe they've stopped the ability to have sex on Craigslist. Have they not?
Oh no!
Really, you can still have it?
Yeah. Well, you can't have sex on there, but you can meet.
But you could. I thought they were trying to stop that, though.
I don't think there's a way to, because everyone just uses,
aliases,
euphemisms. Yeah.
You what?
Euphemisms.
Euphemisms.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Almost sounded wrong.
Like if
it almost sounded, even though you said it correctly, with your lisp and everything, it sounded incorrect.
Like if you want to buy Coke on Craigslist, you just say,
"No, you don't.
I'm looking for a ski."
No, you don't.
Skiing.
No, come on.
Yeah.
All right, Ira, quiet down. Well, anyway, let's go to Henry Russell. Now, Henry, you are an attorney, aren't you?
That is correct.
And are you still practicing law somewhere?
Until they disbar me, I am.
And you are.
That's correct.
And your book is Craigslist Casual Encounters. And what you did, and correct me if I'm wrong, because sometimes I just read through things quickly. You pretended you were a wanton woman on Craigslist, and you saved all the responses.
Well, I created all kinds of personalities. I pretended to be women. I pretended to be men.
Really?
I pretended to be all kinds of people, and then ran ads on Craigslist.
Are you wearing a woman's clothing right now? No, you know why? I tell you why I ask you that, and I say it with all the due respect I can give you. I'll tell you why I say it. You could be in real life, and I mean this, a freaky person, and you. All right, I'd rather you not laugh when I'm saying something. I know you're a lawyer. Excuse me. I have a PhD.
I got to take the fifth on that one.
I have a PhD in psychology from Jacksonville University. So I think if I were you, I would listen first and then laugh later.
I'll do that. I definitely have a dark sense of humor. I know that.
Really? I'll be the judge of that. Now, Henry, you decided to pretend you were women on the internet, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you? That's funny. But was it something you'd always wanted to do?
No. It's
Really?
more of a prank. The whole thing was just pranking people.
When you were a little boy, did you prank people when you were a little boy?
Oh yeah, I was.
Did you ever call up and say, "Is your refrigerator running? Go catch it"? Did you do all that stuff?
That's right, exactly. I've done that one.
All right. Are you holding your nose with your index finger and your thumb right now?
Is that what it sounds like?
It does.
Maybe I'm coming down with a cold.
I'm going to do the interview just like this, all right? Now, when you pretended you were a woman, what would you say to the guys on Craigslist?
Well, I ran all sorts of ads. The very first chapter in the book it's an ad written from the perspective of a woman whose boyfriend's been cheating on her and just broke up with her. So she's looking for men on Craigslist that would be willing to let her punch them in the face because she hates men right now.
So the woman that you pretended you were wanted guys to smash her in the face. How many responses did you get?
No. She wanted to smash them in the face.
She wanted to hit the guys.
So she was looking for volunteers that would just step up and let her, no sex involved, just let her punch them in the face.
And how many responses did you get?
I got 295 responses to that ad.
So did they actually give you could you have met them somewhere?
Oh, without a doubt. There's a guy who was a rock star, or so he claimed, in Utah, and he wanted to make it part of his show. Just have me jump up on stage, punch him in the face, and leave the show real quickly. But there's all sorts of guys lining up for this one.
Right. And so you would do that, but of course you could never meet anybody. Now,
right, I never met anyone.
Now here's the one they do on 2020. They pretend they're the underage girl,
I went close to that one. I ran an ad as a pregnant underage, as in between 18 and 21, girl, looking for guys that would bring this pregnant girl alcohol.
Because she wanted to drink, even though she knew that drinking would, deform the baby.
Yeah,
and
she said, "Oh yeah, I drank with my first kid, and he turned out okay. So don't worry about it. Just can you bring me some alcohol and we'll have sex."
And how many months pregnant were you?
I was claiming to be 5 months pregnant, but nearly 90% of the guys, or 85% of the guys, were willing to bring her alcohol.
And so do they keep, I mean, after you don't do anything, you just go away. Do they keep bothering you? I mean, even when you've moved on to another character?
At some point, I take the conversation as far as I think it's good, and then I'll just kind of quit communicating with them. And you do get some of these guys who continue sending messages. With that punching ads, a guy wrote me about 20 times after I stopped contacting them, and he finally gave up and said, "Wow, I really suck. I can't even get punched in the face."
So now, are you single or married?
I have a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Was she around when you were doing this?
She knew I was doing this. She knows of my sense of humor.
And were you planning on the book the whole time, The Casual Encounters?
I started out placing just kind of odd ads on Craigslist, and after a while I kind of realized maybe this has book potential, so then I definitely started gearing it more toward a book at that point.
Craigslist, Casual Encounters, the hilarious and disturbing world of seeking sex online. Did it frighten you by how crazy the people were that responded to you?
There were some responses that were truly disturbing to me, and that was even after months of running ads, so it takes a lot to shock me.
Were there ever any, I'm going to stab you, or I'm going to kill you, or I want to snuff you or strangle you? And I mean, did you ever like threats that were going to end your life, but they were of a sexual nature?
Well, there's two that stand out. There's a doctor in the Midwest who wrote me from his work email. He wanted to run knives over my body lightly. And
now, when you say his work email, you could go on that email now. And that doctor exists in the Midwest.
Oh, I looked him up. I could find out which hospital. I saw which hospital he worked for, and what is his whole resume. Everything was out there.
Which side of the knife did he want to run over you? The sharp side or the dull side? I mean, I would let the dull side be run over me. But you mean like a scalpel? He would have that go over your back?
I think that's what he was looking to do, very lightly, without cutting and breaking the skin. It was a whole kind of a thing of trust kind of play that he wanted to do.
Henry Russell is here, by the way, and he's written a book about casual encounters on Craigslist. And as you know, I have to ask these questions. You understand, don't you, Henry?
Of course. Ask me anything you want.
Right. Did you ever get a hard-on when you were sending the one about the knives? Were you ever surprised? Here's my question. Were you ever surprised that you got a hard-on when you were pretending and you thought of some crazy sexual thing, and then in the middle of it, you found your pants had tightened on you?
That's a good question, but you have to understand I ran most of these ads as a girl-seeking guy, so I'm getting all these perverted guys responding.
So you never got turned on by the response.
It wasn't a sexual thing for me
whatsoever.
Right
now, it's around 400 degrees down there.
That's our weatherman telling Henry Russell, who, by the way, Craigslist Casual Encounters, a hilarious and disturbing world of seeking sex online. Now, how many responses in all do you think you got, and how many years did it take, or months did it take to get them?
I did this for about 9 months to a year, and I got in total just under 10,000 responses.
Is it sad to you that the world? I mean, with like the Tiger Woods thing, and even Bruce Springsteen, he's screwing somebody in a gymnasium or something. I mean, the world has gone mad, and the internet, I think, is actually a pipeline to perversion. I mean, it's opened the door and allowed people to go through a dark place where before they couldn't get to their perversion. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, without a doubt. I think the internet gives them a sense of anonymity that they don't have otherwise, and they're able to open up and kind of reveal some of their true fantasies that they couldn't if they had met someone in person.
Why would a doctor allow his work, email to? I mean, that's so. You think maybe it was a nurse that was doing it, or a assistant or something? It couldn't have been the real doctor doing it.
I think there's just a small percentage of the population that aren't aware that you shouldn't be using your work email for this reason. I got other responses from a guy who worked for an airline, people who work for school districts, a university professor. I got other people who wrote to me from their work email, so he wasn't an isolated incident.
Now, wait a minute. Why wouldn't you have? I mean, you could have made a lot of money. You would have called up and you'd have gone, "Is this Dr. Johansson?" Or you'd have gone, "Is this Dr. Johansson?" And he'd have gone, "Yes." And you said, "I know you want to run knives over me while I come. Send me $5,000. And the doctor would have called someone and said, "A guy holding his nose with his thumb and his index finger is threatening me." Did you ever think about getting money from people and blackmail, or just as a goof, calling them up and saying you knew their horrifying, secret fantasy?
Well, I think I mentioned that in the book. There's little comments in the book throughout where I mentioned little things, and that's one thing I commented on about. I think someone could probably make a fair amount of money running fake ads on Craigslist and then blackmailing the responders.
Absolutely. It must be done. It has to be being done, right?
I would imagine everything else is being done on that site. I don't see why that isn't being done. But
did women contact you to have girl-on-girl sex?
There were a few. It's just the number of men on that site outnumber the women by such a wide margin that I found it really difficult to continue a prank with a woman. They just didn't have the patience for it.
I'll look up Craigslist casual encounters. Henry Russell has written the book about going on pretending he's someone else, and we couldn't even begin to touch it's the tip of the iceberg here as we talk about it. But I'm looking at some of the things people at least bragged to be. Someone told you they were a former youth minister. They said that when they sent you the message.
Oh, yeah, that was I ran an ad. Claiming to be a Christian woman seeking a Christian male for no strings kind of casual sex. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the first responders to the ad.
But it's against the Ten Commandments and the tenets of most religions to have casual sex. So did he apologize? Did he try and rationalize it somehow?
Well, a lot of the people with that particular ad, they tried to rationalize it, saying that this is their weakness, that they're religious in every other part of their lives, but this is the one thing they can't quite overcome.
Mm-hmm. And now, it says here a dwarf. Now that's sad. I mean, that the only dwarf that's really interesting is the one that's in all the movies now. That's in the death at a funeral. He's in the English and the African American version, which I think is interesting. And what's his name? His name is Dinklage.
I do not know.
Dinklage something. His name sounds like a dwarf name. It's something Dinklage.
Oompa.
What is it? It's drinkage.
His mother drinkage.
I said shrinkage.
It's shrinkage. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear that. You know what? If I'd have heard it, I'd have stolen it. His name is Shorty Dinklage. What did the dwarf want? Did you go on as a dwarf woman?
No, I ran an ad looking for someone who would be willing to dress up in bear outfits and be filmed. So we would both be in bear outfits having bear sex. So he
said, "I'm a dwarf."
He said, "I'm a dwarf. Is there a role maybe I could play in this?"
Now, did you ever feel sorry for anybody?
A few times I did, because I felt some of these people are just lonely. But for the most part, I thought they were pretty morally suspect people on that site. So I didn't have a hard time.
And the threesomes, I mean, everybody wants to have a threesome, right?
Well, the threesome I presented in my book was a guy and his sex doll were looking for a third.
What was the name of the sex doll? Did you give her a name?
Gabrielle. And I had guys address their emails to her, so just to add a little fun
now,
to it.
I'm sorry to say here, but I do see one here about hot man on man sex. What was the scenario with that one?
Well, if you look through the ads, you'll notice some of the gay men are looking for what they're calling straight men for sex. Mm-hmm. So I took that kind of absurdity a little bit further, and I wrote an ad as a straight man looking for another straight man for sex.
So you were offering yourself as a non-homosexual to another non-homosexual, and how many responses did that receive?
Well, I wasn't offering myself. I was offering the character I was portraying.
You know what, Henry? We'll be the judge of what you were offering and what the idea was in your head, and, of course, your sick psychological truth. Can I say it, Henry? A sick
I understand.
Psychological truth. You're a man you're a doctor of jurisprudence, and you really ought to actually be bringing charges against yourself. Henry Russell is here. Craigslist Casual Encounters, a hilarious and disturbing world of seeking sex online. So when these guys would say, "I'm straight," they were probably lying, right?
Oh yeah, I think they're just saying whatever it takes to jump in the sack with someone.
And you wanted to do what with them? What sort of encounter were you offering them?
Well, I was telling them I was in prison for 2 years, and so I understand the needs of a man, but I'm definitely not gay whatsoever. So
I would never have you to defend me.
No, that's right. A lot of people listening may not want to have you defend them. That's a very good question, Ira the Weatherman. Do you worry about some of your clients? What area of law are you in?
I'll take the fifth on that one.
Really? Well, your name.
Yeah,
your name is going to be out there. Is that your real name, or is it a?
No, that's not mine.
Oh, that's
not my real name.
Oh, Henry Russell's not your real name.
No.
Okay, good. I see. Now, but what were you offering? Just to start kissing each other, or you were going to do some kind of man-on-man thing?
No.
It
was full-on man-on-man stuff. I was claiming the kissy stuff is gay.
So would you fist fight and then have sex?
That was another chapter altogether. The winner takes all on that one.
All right. And did you? One of the big ones is being a domestic slave, where I would see that on Craigslist. I don't know why I looked on that page, but you would go to someone's home and they wouldn't even want sex with you. They want you to clean the house or mop or clean the toilet. I mean, it's weird, and they just watch you, or they do it for you. Did you get into those fetishes?
Oh yeah, I wrote that ad as I wanted guys to come over and simply clean the house or do chores around the house for me with no sex involved.
Right.
When I found it was so easy to find men willing to do that, I tried to take that further, and I created kind of obnoxious chores for them to do, like repainting my pool, cleaning up the dead dog from the backyard.
And these guys would say they would do it.
Yeah, they would say they would do it.
Wow.
There's just no end in sight for what some of these people are willing to do.
I just hope you make it a book on tape. Okay, that's what I'm hoping. You need
to
read
hear my voice reading.
Yes, I do. I want to hear your voice reading it right now. Go to Craigslist Casual Encounters. What is it? Go ahead.
Oh no, it's available on Amazon.com and also on my publisher's website, which is hahapublishing.com.
Now, I'm always wondering, how did you sell the book?
Well, to start with, I had a list of 10,000 people that were involved with the book that I emailed. And
you mean you told the people that it was a prank?
At the very end, months later, I did. Absolutely.
So all of these people that had contacted you now know that it was a prank, and you were hoping they would buy the book.
Oh yeah, I don't see why not. And many of them did.
That's a good way. So your victims, you were hoping your victims, it'd be like a serial killer, and you sell the movie rights, and you call the families of the people you've murdered, and you say, hey, by the way, I strangled your daughter, and I put her in a shallow grave, and the movie's coming out Tuesday.
Yeah, here's a little salt in your wounds, and I'm not even going to give you a discount on it.
Did the guys with man-on-man sex, are you afraid of being beaten up at a book signing?
I'm not going to do any book signings.
No book signings? I see. So you emailed the 10,000. How many of them bought books?
Several hundred.
Wow, that's cool. But is it a regular publisher, or is it one of these online publishing houses?
It's a smaller publisher.
Okay.
I didn't,
and you presented it to someone? My question is this. People write books. They come on here all the time. I think about writing a book all the time. Did you present the idea first and then write the book, or did you finish a book and then hand it to somebody?
I just finished a book, and it's more for fun than anything else.
Right.
I love a good practical joke, so I finished the book and I handed it off, and I said, do whatever you can with it, and I'm happy to do my part too.
What is the movie that has is it Closer? Have you seen the movie called Closer? Not Closer.
I don't think so.
Rent Closer. Okay.
I'm writing it down now.
Okay. Jude Law is in it.
Okay.
And everybody's screwing everybody. And Natalie Portman is in it. Have you seen it, Christina? Closer? It was on Broadway. And on Broadway, it was much more sexual than the movie. And the movie is incredibly sexual. And this guy finds out that his girlfriend is screwing around on him. He pretends that he's a woman. And he convinces this guy to start meeting him places, and he never shows up. So he starts an online sexual conversation with the guy that's screwing his wife or girlfriend. It is a fabulous movie, and it was a hit play called Closer. You'll like it a lot. Okay,
I'll definitely check that out.
All right, buddy. Henry Russell. He's an attorney, but when he's not, he pretends he's a girl or an S&M guy or a dwarf. Craigslist.
Are you gay or are you straight?
Oh, I'm straight.
Really? Craigslist Casual Encounters, the hilarious and disturbing world of seeking sex online. Henry, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Are we back?
We are back, and Bobby Slayton is back in the
Yeah,
studio.
I'm sorry I left for a few minutes. And it wasn't because you had that boring interview, because the whole show had been pretty boring. But the reason I had to walk out was I told you earlier, meeting Cousin Brucey, who's a famous DJ when we were kids, was just kind of cool to meet him.
Right.
And Handsome Dick Manitoba, who's on Little Steven's Underground Garage. I love punk rock music. I grew up watching the New York Dolls, the Ramones, Blondie. I loved the Dictators. And he has a great show. He's a big fan of Abbott and Costello, and he's always making references to the show. And I listen to that station all the time. They play everything from the Ronettes.
And he came by to say hi.
Well, I was walking around because I've always wanted to meet him, and I'm always here doing morning radio. I'm never here this time of day. And I say to people, I want to meet Handsome Dick. But a lot of people like yourself don't always broadcast that.
He calls himself Handsome Dick Manitoba.
Yeah, and they all have these names. And,
you know where he got that name from?
I know he took it from the Manitoba, the province up in Canada.
In L.A., Sweet Dick Whittington. You remember him?
Yeah.
He was a guy on the air for like 30 years, called himself Sweet Dick.
Right.
I mean, that he
Is
meant...
this a true story?
It's a true story. Okay. That's where I thought Handsome Dick got his name from.
Well, you might be right. I was going to make up a totally fictitious story that I felt would add to the show.
No, I don't know. There's Sweet Dick and then there's Handsome Dick.
Well, it could be. Whatever. I just thought that was kind of funny. I just love the name The Dictators, and they're all
Why
Jews.
didn't you bring him in as a special guest? We've got all kind of guests.
It's really not up to me. It's your show.
Oh, no, you can bring anybody in.
Bring guests into
you could bring people. Nobody would care. Nobody would care.
Well, but do you know who he is, though?
No, I have no idea.
See, then if I bring him in...
But did you know who Ken Kojak was?
No, but I haven't talked to him. I didn't care. He's definitely a better guest than, he's one of your fellow DJs.
That's exactly right. If he works here part of the family, you can always bring him in.
Oh, well, maybe the next break I'll go see if he wants to come in.
Well, don't go out of your way.
Bobby!
That was a life-changing moment for me.
Bobby!
Oh, yes.
I know Cousin Brucey from way back, from WINS.
That's nice. Thanks for helping the story.
There you go.
Yes.
Run, Forrest. Run.
I remember his shows at Palisades Amusement Park.
Swings all day and after dark, right? The coaster get cool. In the waves in the pool, you'll have fun.
By the way,
where a dime buys the most.
He is beloved, and if you say anything rude to him, you will be disliked by some group of people. I don't know how many. I'm afraid to say the number. If I say millions, they go, oh, you don't have that. If I say hundreds, stop it, you're insecure. Right. If I say thousands, that's,
Look, all I know is this, so far, I think we've had a good time today, and nobody's going to complain about me like they do about Kevin Meaney, so I'm happy.
That's true.
Kevin Meaney!
Yes.
Yeah, now you go off. Go off.
Who doesn't like Kevin
Meaney? I would say you're 10 times better, Bobby, than
I like
Kevin
you.
Meaney.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know that Kevin Meaney has a boyfriend? Do you know that?
Kevin Meaney is like I don't know.
He's a homosexual. He's a homosexual.
Right.
Does that bother you that he's a homosexual?
Well, I say Bobby is much better than Kevin Meaney.
But Bobby's not a homosexual.
Bobby isn't a homosexual.
Not yet.
Now, how can you tell he's not a homosexual?
I can tell, Jay.
What is it, in their eyes? Where is it?
Everything about
everything about him?
Everything about him.
Everything. He's just
If I had Bobby turn around like they do, come on. Remember some woman would see you? Turn around, let me look at you. Right? Yeah. If I had Bobby turn around, would that help?
You can't tell from the back.
You can't tell from the
Sometimes
back.
you
You can't tell if you're a homosexual from the back. Sure,
No,
you can.
Wait a second. Jay, have you never once in your life, just once, and it's not a gay thing, have you ever been walking down the street and go, wow, look at that? And
Yes.
it turns out it's a guy.
Absolutely, I've done it.
You see, like,
You betcha.
long blonde hair, and you see,
Well, in
that's-
California, we do it all the time.
So you can't.
Guys on bikes.
Right, yeah, see, exactly. So you can't tell from the back if somebody's gay or straight, let alone if they're male or female.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I was with a buddy of mine, and we were driving, and we were both looking at this gorgeous blonde, and her ass is pumping on the bike, and we're looking, and we get up close, and we slow down, and it's a guy, and we were really quiet. We both went, well, we'd still fuck it.
Yeah, if you're in jail, and
no, we would have stopped it. Another breaker. Keep going. What do we do?
Yeah, good.
We're good, thanks. Gary of Wisconsin. Somebody emailed me. Why don't you know the format of the show? I just don't.
The format of the show so far is fantastic all the way through.
Really? Now, Gary, is that your real voice, Gary?
Are you making fun of me?
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of you, no.
Now, is that a smoker's voice? Is that what you've got?
No, I got a cold. I've been getting over a chest cold for the last week.
Now, how do you know that isn't cancer of the throat? It sounds much more
No.
Well, no, I worry about. Do you ever worry that you're going to get cancer of the throat?
I've had nodes taken off my vocal cords a couple of times.
They can slip, you know. They can slip, and then you can never talk again. You know.
I'll call you back in a couple of weeks. My congestion.
No. Don't hang up. What did you want to ask me?
No, you were just talking. First of all, we were just talking about the movie The Closer.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable movie.
It's not called The Closer. No. It's called Closer.
Closer, yes.
And it's very sexual. And the guy, Jude Law, pretends he's a woman, and he gets that other actor, I'm sorry, I don't know. Clive Owen. And it's very sexual. And, that was a play, and apparently it was even sexier,
Oh, okay. The other movie that I just watched recently with Kate Winslet is The Reader. Oh, my goodness, what a movie.
I did watch The Reader, where she screws the guy that she's teaching to read.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? She screws the guy that she's teaching to read, and her husband, Sam Mendes, directed it. And then in Little Children, she screws a guy on the washing machine. I mean, virulent sex. And then in Revolutionary Road, she is screwing the next door neighbor, and her husband directed all of them, and they just broke up.
Titanic.
Yeah.
She has sex in Titanic?
Well, she's naked and he paints her or whatever.
Yeah, you know what? Now her husband didn't direct that, but think about that. Her husband directs her. You would think they work together and then they break up. That is odd, isn't it? And what do you think that's about, watching your wife getting screwed? And I would always comment. I would say, there's something up with her. She likes taking her clothes off. You and I don't do the kind of movies where we would get the naked girl.
Well,
but not many actresses want to take their clothes off and screw in a movie. She loves it, and she's supposed to be a big actress.
But they're not really having sex, though, so it's just simulated.
What do you think they're doing? If a woman sits on you and it's not your wife, and you're pretending, she's
it's like a lap dance. You're right.
She's going to feel you.
Of course. Well, not me so much.
It's going to take hours to shoot the scene.
Right. It always takes me hours to shoot.
A friend of mine once said he worked all day with a woman, and then when he wasn't getting a hard-on, she got pissed off. In the beginning of the scene, hard-on, and then, after lunch, no more hard-on, and it upset her. That's how nuts actresses are.
Oh, they really aren't. Yeah,
crazy. I'm sorry. What is it? Yes, sir. Yes,
go ahead.
Yes.
Jay.
What?
Jay, the other thing I wanted to ask you is, can we get another hour of your show? Because the 3 hours...
3 hours isn't enough.
We need 4 hours.
4 hours of the show.
We're going to go around the clock.
We're going to go around the clock. Yeah, there's a lot of good ideas. Okay, good ideas are coming in. Thank you.
Put Kevin Meaney on after you.
All right, we'll get Kevin Meaney on. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I don't know if we have enough bandwidth for him. So there we are. We'll talk to you. Bobby Slayton is here. He'll be at Comics, the great comedy club, Friday and Saturday night. And we're coming to you live from New York City. Crazy stuff in the news. Tiger Woods' wife, it is pretty much official. She has filed, and they're finalizing the divorce. We'll talk about that with Bobby Slayton.
Oh, yeah.
You can see on Showtime the DVD is coming out next week. The title of the DVD is what, Bobby?
Born to be Bobby, and I got the tattoo on my back. You have any ink? I think we talked about that the last time I did your show. I got the tattoo, Born to be Bobby, on my back.
You cannot be buried in a Jewish cemetery with that tattoo.
Yeah, and that really is kind of a bunch of crap, and I don't really care about being
Really?
That was made up in the 1940s by some,
That's why they put tattoos on the prisoners.
That's why it was added. It was like an addendum to
it was
the Bible.
added after that.
Absolutely.
I see.
But, the whole thing...
You mean the Bible's in certain parts is made up?
Well, some of it. Not Noah's Ark. That really happened.
Really?
And dinosaurs. Everybody.
All right.
Mice. And they all got along.
And
people believe that story, that all these animals were on one boat. And the creationists believe that. There were dinosaurs on this. So there were velociraptors. There were mice. There were...
Leviathans, they call them.
It's a Leviathan.
And we're only 6,000 years old. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's the greatest.
And I asked the guy once, I said, well, what about carbon dating? He goes,
I know. It's a lie.
It's a mistake. That's right.
It's a mistake, or it's God's way of fooling you. They all have, but it was all these animals and Joe Franklin were all on Noah's Ark. Hey! There you go.
I knew Ira, big laugh.
Ira, by the way, you probably don't notice this, but I knew Henny Youngman right before he died. Ira sounds so much like Henny Youngman.
Wow, what a compliment.
Thank you.
Right.
It's amazing.
Mike, the Jay Thomas Show, 888-4-102-102. Chuck, thank you. Chuck I call him. It's Liddell.
Liddell, like
Liddell.
a lid.
I can say Liddell. Chuck Liddell is coming on. You know him as an incredible MMA fighter. What's weird is he is from such a pussified area, and you would imagine these guys come from vicious backgrounds. When you hear his background, it sounds like he should have become a maitre d' or something instead of an MMA fighter.
What's his background?
Oh, that would give the interview away.
Oh. I guess it would.
It's the headline.
Oh.
Why don't you just give the whole thing away?
I'm not a radio
Why did I say, Cheech is coming in? I said special guest.
Okay.
Then he came in.
Well, it's your show. Right his way.
Well, don't ask me a question that embarrass me in front of these people.
Jay, am I on?
Yeah, you're on. I'm sorry, Mike, that Bobby Slayton comes in. He's not a professional announcer, and after a few hours, you begin to realize the difference between a professional announcer and a comic.
Let's get ready to interview.
Yeah.
What about a professional actor? I travel a lot.
Really?
So I watch Hulu.
You sound like that guy that keeps the light on for you. What's that guy's name? That
Motel 6 guy?
Yeah,
Tom Bodette.
Tom Bodette. I want you to say that before we go any further, Mike. We'll keep a light on for you. Relax and then say it in a very calm voice. Go ahead.
All right, thanks. I watched that.
No. I want you. No, Mike. I want you to quiet down. Take a beat, and I want you to say, "We'll keep the light on for you." Ready? Go.
We'll keep the light on for you.
God damn it! Doesn't he sound like him? Am I right?
Great. That was great.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You're the only one clapping. We don't clap unless I clap.
Oh, I got it.
All right. Go ahead, Mike. What'd you call for?
Okay. Well, I came across on Hulu.com.
Oh, I love Hulu. I love Hulu. You mean Hulu? You mean Hulu, don't you?
Spencer.
Hulu is spelled HUGHLOO. Hulu is HULU.
.com.
Yeah, I know it.
Well, I saw that Spencer for Hire episode you were in.
Oh, that's right. When I played Tony Braz, I'm the bad guy's son.
Yes.
And he kills me. How about when I went into the Boston Bay? Did you like that?
Exactly, in the Grand Prix or whatever. But I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Or give you an observation. I knew as big a putts as you played in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Then I contrast that with the throws that you've made on Letterman to knock the meatball off the Christmas tree.
Yes.
Somebody with that good arm, there's no way you could be method acting. You couldn't be that big a putts. So I figured
you mean I was at? You mean you? Yes, I act when I act unathletic and putsy. Of course, I can. When I act really nice, I'm really not a nice person. When I act,
really
when I'm crying, I'm not crying. I'm not really crying. I pulled nose hairs out.
Ow.
Now, what did you think when I went into the water? Did you think I was going to be killed, or did you think I was going to come up from the water?
I thought you were going to come up from the water.
I'll tell you why they had me come back up. They had to reshoot it. They said, gee, we're probably going to have him come back again, so let's show him coming back up. So I had to get into the Boston Harbor. And I said, you know what? It's okay if it's just one episode. I kept saying that to them. I came back up, and the bastards never, ever called me again. So I went, but I had to actually sit in a car that's not rolling, Bobby, and go like this. You're just sitting in
right.
And it looks stupid. But when it's in the movie and they do the cutting, you look like you. But we were sitting in a neighborhood and the sun was down. The guy said, hurry up, let's get it. Jay, look in the camera and yell. I went, oh, come on. And
it's got to be a lot harder, though, if you're one of those movies like Jurassic Park where you got to pretend that the T-Rex is chasing you. But that's got to be really hard.
But you do exactly. There's no animal there. There's nothing scary. And a lot of times there's no set because it's all CGI.
Right.
So they put you in a box. They make you stand in a box with tape around it, and you can't move out of the box. And so they go, all right, here comes the raptor. All right, here it comes. Oh, no. Ah! I swear to God, that's what you do. And they go, cut. They look at it and go, let's do it again. You try it now. All right, Bobby, here comes the raptor.
Come on, pussy boy, come on.
All right.
I'll kick your ass, raptor boy.
They would do that. They would have a close-up of you.
I wish you could do that in real life where you could go out to eat dinner with your wife for your anniversary, but you didn't have to take her. You get like a blue screen behind you, and you can pretend you're talking to her, and you're just really on the phone. And then later, they put your wife in the picture, and you can say, honey, remember this? That was our anniversary. Remember our wedding in Hawaii? But you could go to Hawaii by yourself and pretend she's there with you, and you CGI in LA. That would be a great idea.
This is a concept. We're going to work on this. We're going to work on a concept. It's called green screen dating. Is what it's going to be
great.
Called. It's not a great concept, but I'll show you. Yes, Mike. What is it, Mike?
Really quickly, one last thing before I go.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep the light on for you.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Very funny. Don, Delaware. Jay Thomas here, and, of course, Bobby Slayton. Coming up, Chuck Liddell.
Hello?
Little.
I thought that was him you were talking
to. Chuck Liddell.
I thought that was him.
Hey, Don, where are you?
I'm right
here. I'm right here. I'm right here.
All right, because I don't want to screw up. You know what?
Hey, I'm here.
If these guys hit you, you can win so much money. I wish he was coming in live, and I'd go, Chuck Little, the big pussy, is it? And just egg him on until he hits you. He's probably rich.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Don, we can.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Hey, Bobby, I love that show that used to come on, Mind of the Married Man.
Yep, that was my big claim to fame that never got me the claim to fame that it shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it didn't.
What happened to it?
Well, who is the...
Mike Binder.
Mike Binder. I'll tell you why.
I'll tell you my
you
theory.
worked with Taylor Nichols, too.
Taylor, yes, of course.
Taylor and I are great friends, and we did plays and movies together.
Is he working a lot now?
You know, he does commercials. I don't know what he's up to be honest. But I'm going to tell you why the show wasn't. I'll tell you what. You tell me why it wasn't.
Well, first of all, you know who made it big from that show was, what's her name? The broad who's on one of the...
It's a woman. Yeah. Why do you think that Mind of the Married Man, which by the way was about a married guy thinking about screwing other women all the time,
right?
And talking about what?
Great.
I'll tell you the 3 theories that I'm pretty sure is why that show didn't go. Number 1, you know, it was on between The Sopranos and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I can't tell you how many people said they never saw it. I said, this show's got to be a hit. It doesn't matter what show. It could be the Jay Thomas Show. It could be the biggest piece of crap ever.
2 dogs fucking.
Yeah.
Put them between those 2 shows, it's a hit. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And with Ira on it, doing
so they had to go out of their way to turn the show on.
Well, I'm saying The Sopranos was one of the biggest shows on HBO ever, and then afterwards Curb, and I said, well, you didn't see our show in between, so they wound up putting our show on after. And I think a lot of women, this isn't why I went up there, but I think a lot of guys told me when they'd come to comedy clubs, say I couldn't really watch your show with my wife because he'd be getting a happy ending, and he'd be cheating on his wife, and the wife would bust the guy's balls saying, would you do that? Is that the way guys are? And it's Sunday night,
that's
guys,
right.
They were getting ready to go to work the next day, and the wife's giving them grief, but that's not why I think it went off the air. I think it went off the air for another reason. There was somebody at HBO that I don't think liked it very much, and she was not, I think that was a problem. And I think the show cost a lot of money to shoot, and we did a lot of reshooting. And
I think it was because when women have a problem with a man and they decide to go and screw it, like Sex in the City,
right?
And the guy always has the upper hand, no matter what the reason is. I mean, this is a true story. A guy I know, he caught his wife having an affair. He had a horrible breakup, and we lived through the breakup with him, and she was screwing another guy. About a year later, we get back together, and he's with her. He's back with her again. And he said this seriously. I said, what happened? He goes, well, whatever I did to cause her to start screwing around on me, she forgave me. Now, I thought he was kidding. He meant it. They'd gone to therapy, and he had done something that caused her to find another's bed. Okay? Right. That's right. You're exactly correct. Guys fucking around... It's a tough one to pull off.
And Sex in the City, it was a very well written show.
No one married them. They got screwed. The guy left.
But
I think it was
Office Sex. Office Sex is the most me being not newly married, but only 3 or 4 years in, I bought the box set of Mind in the Married Man because it's just funny. But those office circumstances, because you're with those people all the time, you have administrative assistants there, and you just constantly, I don't know, I think I'm the same way. I'm just constantly thinking about, man, I really want to fuck her. You know what I mean?
At the office, you're thinking that.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, people come in and out.
You do not want to work at Sirius XM. You walk through the doors here, and they have hired the youngest, hottest, fine. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous here. Now, let's put
that's just the guys.
Let's put the microphone to Christina, please, for one moment. What is it like? Do you know that guys are just staring at you all the time?
Oh, yeah, they know.
Wait, would you be quiet for 1 second, Don?
I'm sorry.
I'm in the middle of an interview with someone.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what her answer is going to be. Why don't you and Bobby Slayton do a show where you give the people the answers before they say them? Now she's not going to be able to answer properly.
I can't hear him. I don't have
Oh, right. Okay, good. Now, do you realize how what men think of the women as they walk down the hall and you see them through the glass window?
I know now. I didn't know before I got here, but I know now. I work with a lot of guys, and they don't hold back.
Now, you hear the guys talking about other women.
And me.
But when did you know they were talking about you?
When they say it to me.
Now at any other company, it's sexual harassment.
You would get canned, yeah.
Yeah, not here for some reason. No. We don't know why, Bobby. Why
I mean, it's harmless, and
it's not harmless. It's not harmless.
It's harmless.
You know what? I agree with you. But if a woman decides that it isn't harmless, it is sexual harassment.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
And I think these guys have to be really careful. Now, when you're getting dressed, would you be quiet?
Listen,
I'm in the middle of something.
Me and my fiance are in the middle of a conversation.
When you're getting dressed in the morning.
Yes.
Do you go, well, they're going to be looking at me. I better look like they expect.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't wear low cut shirts anymore.
No. I meant you want to be. You're glad you're going to be looked at.
Well, I mean, it's weird and creepy because a lot of the guys here are weird and creepy.
Radio people.
Yeah.
Very creepy.
And also some guests. Bobby's great, but some guests are creepy. Not from here.
What about this show?
Oh, there it is. There's the creep.
Has there been a creepy guest in this show?
I can't. Well,
do you find me like
the
David
Wingwalker
Letterman said?
Was such a weirdo. No.
Do you find me a little creepy sometimes?
Never.
Have you ever seen me look at you in a wanton way?
No, I think you're charming.
I am thinking what every other scum. I'm thinking what every other scum is thinking.
It's hard to know that. If I wear a dress
I do that
here,
on purpose.
It's if I wear a dress here, I get one of two things: either people really like it or they get mad.
The men get mad?
Yeah. What the fuck is this, they say. I need to see you in a hoodie. I don't know why.
I'm going to tell you, they talk about these companies that need to get rid of people so the economy... I mean it. I would like to go through this place and begin making citizens arrests for sexual harassment, and we could, 25-30% of the guys would be out of here.
Well...
Out of here.
All right.
What about the gay women?
If they start touching me, then
what
I'll
about
come
that
to you.
Out You channel with the lesbians when they come off their show?
Some of the guests there have hit on me.
The lesbians have hit on you. Have you?
I've seen a lot in there.
Real.
Awesome.
Yes. Don, you like hearing that, Don?
I've seen a lot of things go down in there.
It's not a bad thing. All right,
Not a bad thing at all.
Don, thank you very much. By the way, Bobby Slayton was on Mind of the Married Man on HBO, right?
It was a good show, and I thought that would really catapult me into stardom, and I thought my new Showtime special would help, but you know what? It's fine. And I was just talking to Handsome Dick Manitoba, and you and I had this conversation the other day. He had a band called The Dictators, and he said,
what
you know
a name dropper.
No, but if I want to drop names, I got bigger names than Handsome Dick Manitoba.
Dick Manitoba.
Hey, Cousin Bruce, you want me to drop names around here? I got names to drop around here.
Oh, man.
No, but he was saying, he had a great punk band, and they did okay. And look, you've done 1 million television shows. You're not very happy with the status you have. You've done a great job. You have a nice life. You've made a lot of money.
The show, to make real money on television, has to run 5 years on TV. Right. Or you have to get, if you're the sergeant on one of these CSIs or Law and Order, it's unbelievable. I mean, they are really rich. And what really upsets me is there's no acting on those shows, and they're so popular, Right. But I like 2.5 Men. I know people put it down. That makes me laugh. I think that Kevin James' show is very funny. So I like some of the really old-fashioned sitcoms, and they still make me laugh. I appreciate that. And but good old Christine or whatever, that show is not good. She's a wonderful person and really, but that's a terrible show.
Don't you watch all the cable shows like Dexter and Weeds? You've seen all those.
I like Dexter.
Great.
Weeds is all right.
Please.
I fade in and out. How about The Medium? Do you like that show?
No, but my friend Jake Weber is on that show, who is also Mind of the Married Man. He's one of my best friends.
On the Medium.
Yeah.
And you look at
I've never seen it.
She's weird in real life, almost. It looks like she's weird in real life, right?
Yeah, I don't know her.
Here's the problem with a lot of those shows. You have to watch them a lot to get into them. Like, I'm into The Tudors, right? You can't watch season 3 of The Tudors and not know the first 6 wives.
It's like buying Anal Invaders 3. You need to see the first two.
Yes, you do.
It's a trilogy. It's like Harry Potter. You got to have them all.
What?
Treme, I believe it's called.
I'm trying to get on it because it's in New Orleans and it's gotten picked up for the second season. I did not watch it. Did you watch it?
No, I have a tape, but
I'd like to hear what you think of it.
The guys from The Wire, creator and writers of The Wire.
You like The Wire?
Great show. Did you like it?
My favorite show ever.
No, I didn't.
Wow.
More than The Sopranos? More than Mind of the Married Man?
Not more than Mind of the Married Man.
Fine.
The Sopranos I really liked a lot. Curb Your Enthusiasm took me a while to like. Look, that's me from Spencer for Hire.
How'd that
can
get
you
up there?
put the link on jthomas.com? Yeah. We'll put the link, and you can see me screaming as I go into the Boston Bay. Let's go to Richard of Texas. Yes, Richard, how are you?
Hey, Jay. Thanks for having me on.
Well, you hung on for so long, and thank you for hanging on. Do you listen to the show on hold, or how does it work?
Yeah. I've got satellites in every truck and every car.
You got satellites all over
the house.
You got them in the house. Hey, I'm doing the commercials for that new radio that we're selling, the TTR. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, if they put them on yet?
I haven't heard anything about it.
I just did. They're going to be on the internet for Sirius XM, but it's unbelievable. It's a radio, like a what do you call it? A table model?
I would say like a Bose kind of system.
Yeah, it's like a Bose system. It's really good, and so it comes through your Wi-Fi. It comes through the Wi-Fi, and it's clear as a bell. Yeah, you'll
fantastic.
All right, good.
Looking forward to it.
All right, good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, what is the difference in what that pervert did with the Craigslist stuff. What is the difference in what he did and calling everybody up, emailing everybody up saying, hey, by the way, I'm publishing a book with all of your dirty laundry, and what the guy from 48 Hours did to David Letterman? What is the difference?
I think what the guy did to David Letterman is called extortion, where he threw a script into his limousine at 6 o'clock in the morning and said, I'll get this produced. I won't get it produced if you give me $2 million. That's called extortion.
Okay, I'm selling the book for $10. Are we just talking? It's like prostitution, she'll do it for $1 million or she'll do it for $5.
Kitty Kelly has a book out about Oprah. She didn't go to Oprah and say, give me $2 million and I won't put it out. That's extortion.
And this guy didn't use names either.
He didn't use the people's real names,
so
right. What the guy should have done is he should have written a book about infidelity with the David Letterman show, and he would have sold it to a publisher like Kitty Kelly, and he would have said it was because of my girlfriend, and it would have sold, and he would have made money.
And he wouldn't have gotten the extortion rap. Okay.
The guy's insane. I mean, or he's temporarily insane or something. He's going through a horrible divorce. He's got kids. He's 2 divorces. I mean, he threatened somebody.
Okay. Well, to me, it looks like the same deal. I've just got all these people to divulge all these personal secrets, and then, by the way, I'm going to fix to publish a book. Oh, and by the way, if you want to buy it, it's $10.95 on the internet or whatever.
No, but you're not buying it to keep it quiet. You'd have to say, if you want to buy all 800 copies. No, it's extortion when you give somebody something and say, but give me money and I won't tell on you. That's extortion.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that guy's really strange. That guy's won 6 Emmys. Halderman is his name.
Yeah.
He's won 6 Emmys. He's like a famous producer. The other thing is David Letterman seems to have had a real love affair with that intern. I think he really loved her and liked her, and she was funny. And the woman that he's got, I mean, she may be very nice. Every picture, they look miserable. They look miserable.
Yeah, they really do.
Wow.
Yeah. And he got married, and they were in Montana, and they're sitting in the truck with the kid, and they were having a sandwich, and it was like, that's your honeymoon? You got a sandwich? That's it? God. He's not a sexy guy, Letterman. You think he's hot? He liked the girl to dress up as a little cheerleader and all in the office,
You asking me about this?
I'm asking everybody. I'm looking right at you. Well, I don't think that Richard from Texas is going to be as interesting an answer. Are you afraid to answer because someone might hear it from Letterman and say...
No, Letterman's never put me on his show, so I don't really...
I'm on all the time when I'm talking about it.
Right, no, I just don't really have anything to say about it.
Now, why wouldn't he put you on? You may say a dirty word or something?
No, it's a long story, and,
really?
It's a long... Yeah, it's really stupid. Letterman used to think that I did something which I never did. And many
they
years
do
ago,
hold these grudges, these guys.
Well, no, David Letterman holds grudges. I watch his show every night. I love David Letterman. I mean, I love his show, and I watch it every night. I think he's brilliant. I think he might even be better than Johnny Carson. I think the Letterman's one of the few people that can go from being really serious about something to be hysterically funny, talking about, his heart, and talking about Johnny Carson's death, getting joy. I mean, David Letterman's great,
When he brought on...
mind-boggling. When he brought on Bill Hicks' mother.
Yeah.
It was some of the best. And I even sent a little email to Eddie Brill, and I said, this doesn't matter to Letterman. And, but just tell him I think it was great, even though he'll never have me on his show. When he first went to CBS, I sent him a box of Cuban cigars. I never heard from him. My wife used to have a kid's clothing store, and when his son was born, I sent him some clothes, and I said, I know you'll never put him on your show, but I'm a big fan, and I'm not looking to get on your show, and I never heard back from him. But David
really?
Letterman, yeah, and what happened was back many, many, many years ago, before he went on TV, he was hosting The Tonight Show once, and he did one of my jokes that somebody had given him. And I, back then comics were very protective of their material, and, a young comic, and I said, David, I'm just wondering who wrote that joke for you. And he became very defensive. I didn't steal the joke, and I said, David, I'm not accusing you of stealing the joke.
You said it to his face?
Yeah, no, I said, you did a joke last night in your monologue.
You saw him in person at the club.
At the Improv, and I only met him once or twice, and, him and me, George Miller was a friend of mine, Bob Sarlott, who was on the show, was a good friend of mine, and I saw him, and I said, somebody goes, and he became very defensive and said, I didn't.
What was the joke?
The joke was that it was very funny at the time, but then again, I want to explain it. I was a young comic in my early 20s. You didn't have a lot of material, and the joke was, and there were so many crazy people in L.A., you see bumper stickers on cars that say, honk if you are Jesus. And back then, and somebody made a bumper sticker of it.
Right.
It became some other comics did it. It was my joke. Oh, wait, it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
And it wasn't.
And he said it in his monologue.
He said his monologue. And he says to me, a few weeks later, I see him at the Improv. And he says to me, you know who wrote that joke for me? And he told me who the guy was.
Right.
This drunken comedy writer who stole it from me. Now I can write new material. Now I don't care. Because if I cared, then because of Carlos Mencia, who I put a hit on. There are guys out there that steal comedy all the time. I have bigger things to worry about.
Right.
I'll write, like Jay Leno says, I'll write new jokes.
Right.
And I will. Because people come up with the same stuff. They steal stuff. You know, anyway.
I steal out of periodicals that no one reads.
Well, it's also, it's not stand-up comedy. It's a different situation. So years later, I tried to get on the Letterman show, and I couldn't get on the show. And Jay Leno, who was on the show all the time, said, why don't you write a note to Bob Morton and explain, whatever. And I wrote a letter, and somebody at the show said to me that David Letterman thought I was trying to get on the show behind his back, and Bobby Slayton's doing this. I don't know what happened, but it began this his little girl locker room kind of crap.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to do his show, and I always loved the guy. And I finally just gave up. I said, Letterman doesn't want me on his show. And it's not a big thing, but it's always bothered me that he's never had me on. Johnny Carson had me on once, and then when I was getting a booking back on Carson, and Johnny announced his retirement, and then everybody and his mother tried to get on. They were bringing back King Kong from the dead. Everybody who ever lived and was still alive was getting on the Carson show, so I couldn't get on. But Arsenio would put me on, and but that was one of the things that always upset me, that I never got on that show.
2 Christmases ago, my son, who he thinks that he's got somebody just told me he's on the internet now, some show where they follow people, and he's a songwriter. He thinks that he can get on any show, or if he does crazy stuff on TV, or he would take his shirt off and he'd have a black bra on or something. He just thinks that's going to get him more notoriety, right? I keep telling him it doesn't work. We go to the Letterman show, and I'm sitting there with David Letterman, and my son. It was the week that the guy threw the shoe at
George Bush. Yeah.
My son, from the balcony, throws a shoe from the balcony, and it lands in front of the desk on the David Letterman show.
No.
Yes. Not funny, Ira. And it was
sounds like he's in Cape Fear.
It was so embarrassing because there's no camera up there. It's totally dark.
Did you know it was him?
Of course I did, but here's the weird thing. They put the guest, Dave Letterman doesn't like any network people or friends of who's coming on. He's afraid they're not going to laugh. I don't know what it is. They put him in the worst seats behind a speaker. I go out of my way that week. I have my buddy Larry and his 2 boys, and I got my 3 boys, and I go, could they sit and see the show from like a nice seat? So the woman says, well, I'm going to do this, but don't tell anybody. Oh yeah. So they put him in the front row of the balcony, and he tells his 2 brothers he's going to do it. And they go, no, don't. No, 16 and 15 are telling him don't do it, right? He takes the goddamn shoe off and he hums it, and it hits right at the desk, and he yells something like, I'm Jay Thomas's illegitimate son. Well, the security comes. They almost maced him.
Which they should have.
And they stopped the show. And Letterman says, is that really your son? And I go, yeah, it is. And he goes, did you know about this? I said, no, I didn't know. Now, listen to this. I have to continue and tell the Lone Ranger story. Right?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. And it did fine. And then we have to try and throw the football, whatever the fuck it is. And that's all I'm thinking about is what happened. So another half an hour passes. When I get outside, I want to kill this guy because the director, the producer, everybody's going, you knew that was going to happen. I said, I did not, and I know how crazy he is. I did not know it was going to happen. He says, well, Dave thinks you knew it was going to happen, and you were supposed to come back in July or June or whatever. You're not coming back. And I go, you know what? So now we get to go back with my son. My friend's saying, are you fucking crazy? I said, look, you write a letter to David Letterman, and you tell him you're sorry and he did. So I don't know if Letterman ever got the letter or not. And I did not get the July booking. But the next Christmas, I got the rebooked. And he mentions it when I sit down. It meant nothing to the audience, and he mentions it. They cut it all out, but he mentions it.
They did cut it out?
Oh, they did.
And they cut the original one, too.
And then all of a sudden, a letter arrives to my son from David Letterman saying that he understands. It came like 8 months later or whatever. And so what I couldn't believe is that he didn't respond to you, because he did respond to my son's personal letter.
Well, that's different because David, because remember when he was a kid and Letterman has you on the show, Letterman has nothing to do with me. He never had me on the show. And,
right.
And he might not have gotten any of that stuff. The box of cigars Bob Morton probably kept. He probably didn't see any.
And you didn't get the baby clothes. He didn't get the baby clothes.
I doubt it.
No, some intern, that little whore that he was with got him. She probably wore him in front of him. Think about that.
I remember
she had Bobby Slayton's baby clothes on, dancing in front of David Letterman. that's creepy.
You know, I remember I'd only done the Howard Stern show a couple of times, and when his first or second daughter, probably his second daughter was born, I had done the show only a couple of times, and my wife had a kids' clothing store at the time, and sent the big, beautiful box of little girls' clothes, and Allison right away wrote a really nice letter.
Yes.
Could have been, of course, Howard didn't bother to sign it, but that's not his job. But the wife, somebody, at least one of them responded, which was nice.
I'll tell you what's crazy to me is the insulation. Now, and watching Tiger Woods, he rented that 9,000 square foot house for himself. They take the fence down. He's got a 6,000 square foot house for his entourage and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know why these people need all this insulation and all these people around them. And I wonder if you ever became really big, I mean, what do you need all that shit for? It's odd to me why people need all these people around them.
Well,
Plus, they're expensive.
I see why Tiger needs it, probably because of all the press now that's hounding him and all the girls.
His advisors are with him.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I know. It's moronic.
Now, his wife has filed for divorce, and they're done.
Well, why? You say it like it surprises you.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think that she was thinking that she was going to stay, but then a neighbor said he fucked her too. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't hear that one.
Was it 19? She's 22 now. When she was 18, he had told her he wanted to screw us, and she was 14. They had 2 hours of incredible sex, and then he kept trying to, get her back again, and that came out right before they teed off.
You know, I just can't feel sorry for these people. And now, it's like Jesse.
I feel terribly sorry for him.
You do really?
He went to 6 weeks of sexual therapy in Mississippi, and it's all for nothing.
Well, why? I know.
It's all for nothing.
I know. But he did that.
She's going to leave him anyway, and he's cured of sexual addiction.
You know what? He's not cured, and I said this to you when you interviewed
He's
me.
He's cured.
Yeah.
And the bitch leaves him.
He's cured.
Swedish bitch.
Well, it's now that he's cured, he's not going to have sex with her. So if she stayed, he's going to go, look, I can't get it up. I'm over my addiction.
If I was Tiger, I would call Barkley, and I would call Michael Jordan, and I'd have him fire up that 300-foot yacht of his, and we'd be in Bimini with nothing but whores from South Beach.
Well, that's the way to go. You would do that?
That's what I would.
Well, that's what I would do, too.
That's what I would get. By the way, Ben Roethlisberger, who has been accused of attacking 2 women, one dropped it. The cops want her to press charges, but she won't. I think some money might have changed hands.
That just happened to Steven Seagal, too. Now she won't press charges, that woman. That same
story. The Russian woman?
Yes.
Yeah. So
even Vietnamese. But anyway, yeah.
Well, but the thing is that there was a thing called Big Ben's Beef Jerky. And they have dropped him from they won't allow him to take his picture off and everything, because they said that when people look at the Big Ben's Beef Jerky, it's going to make them think of his penis or something.
It's
so
not quite like losing a big Tag Heuer or Nike kind of contract.
Nike's keeping him.
I know, that's bizarre. But, because you know what, I don't really, now let me ask you something. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of talking about this too, but did you think, does that commercial really help sell sneakers? People say, well, you'll be talking about Nike. I'll be talking about Nike, but it doesn't mean it's going to make me want to buy sneakers.
I think that what they need to do, especially with someone like Roethlisberger, is, let's be honest. So at the end of the Ben Roethlisberger Nike ad, it ought to say something like, just do it, even if she says no.
Right. But it's still
But they ought to do that.
Right. But it's not going to...
But they ought to make fun of it. They ought to just make fun of it, but they won't. It's guys.
Yes, then I would buy the sneakers.
Exactly.
Then I would buy them. But people seem to...
You've heard a lot about me.
Right.
He would look into the camera. Right. You've heard a lot about me. None of it's true. Just do it, even if she says no. Nike. I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, that would be great. I would buy them, and every black kid in the world would buy them. The Foot Locker would be rocking again.
In Somalia, Islamic insurgents have warned the dozen radio stations they have to stop playing music.
But is it just one day a week, or is it every day?
Every single day. No more music.
Well, you know what? Is it country music? Because that would be okay.
Any music. It's all music.
It shouldn't be Little Steven Something Round. It should be just certain stations.
We believe that broadcasting over any station with music is anti-Muslim. There's a news station, and they do what we do. They have the bumper music in and out. Now, this sounds like a joke. So they go on the air. They're scared that they're going to be killed. And the guy on the air, instead of music, he played gunshots. Like the talk show or the news. Right. Play the... And Bobby Slayton's with us, Jay Thomas Show. How you doing? That's what he did, just like that.
That's great.
Played a rooster. Did he play a rooster crowing or something like that? Oh, the Jay Thomas Show. Bobby Slayton's our guest. They didn't play any music. And the insurgents said that was okay. They said that was all right. They could do it. You know what's weird about that Somali thing? pirate radio, huge.
That's the funniest thing you said so far today.
Really?
Yes. And you said some great stuff.
Hold it. Just
Pirate
do
radio.
it even if she says no.
That was good.
Now watch this.
No, that was good.
I'm going to tell you this.
The pirate radio's better.
You can have the Nike joke, and I'd like it. Would you try it over the weekend?
Let me see if. Wait. Let me think if. Just do it. Even if she says no. You know what? I will. But I have a feeling that the whole audience is going to go, "Hey, we heard that on Jay Thomas."
No, they won't.
No, you know what? I will try that because that.
But here's the bit I would work up: that he went to the sex therapy. He did everything he was supposed to do.
I'm already saying that.
And she left him. And so now he went 6 weeks in Mississippi. That's a very good. I'm
going to try it. Matter of fact, that's another reason for you to come down Friday night. Whether you come down or not, I'm going to do it.
No, but wait a minute. The joke is, I think,
he went
that
to sex
did it
therapy
in Mississippi, shithole of Mississippi. Right. It was 6 whole weeks, right? That's all he did.
That's a lot. The 6 weeks is a lot. No. Oh, come on, rehab. 6 weeks. I've never been to any of these things, but can't you quit alcohol, lose weight?
Now, no, it's ridiculous. You got to go for years. Now he's cured, and she leaves him anyway. Now I don't know where we go with this. Where does he go? What does he do now?
Now that he has no wife and he's not addicted to sex, so now I'll come up with something. I'm going to do that Friday. And then Nike. Yes, I'm just thinking out loud. We'll write material now, Jay.
Now, by the way, I told you I'd give you some ideas.
That is a good bit,
right?
Because you know what,
it won't last forever.
No. But the Nike ad, like I said, the way it is now, it doesn't make you think of buying sneakers.
That's right.
It's almost like watching Schindler's List. You think of Jews, but you don't go, I can call my dentist. It doesn't. That was far-fetched. Sorry.
I think you're saying, and what I'd like you to try is,
you tell me.
Why aren't they honest? It's like Ben Roethlisberger has been accused of trying to rape to whatever and so if Nike's going to keep him, so the thing is beyond whatever it is for Tiger also.
Right. I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it.
All right.
Because I was dying to try some new stuff this weekend. I've been walking around New York City for 3 days trying to come up with new material.
Well, there you go.
Now,
that's all around you.
I know.
And you don't have to somebody say it's yours.
No, I'm going to.
Because I can't do anything with it.
I
can't. Now, if I was watching Showtime or whatever and your next special, and I saw this developed thing that came from the genesis of what I had said to you today.
You're not going to get a writing credit for one joke. No. I would be happy to give it because you know what? Because
wait a second.
No, I knew there was a catch. I knew there was a catch.
You mean when the thing goes by real fast?
You know what you would get?
What?
You know what you get? What a lot of people got. A special thanks to my wife, my daughter.
I'll take a thank you.
I did this, and I did it on all my CDs. My friend Nick Griffin, who I'm going to see later for dinner,
and Jay Thomas.
All right. Without a doubt. I thank my dog Gizmo, but I promise you, you'll definitely get a thank you with them. No, but
all right, I'll take a thank you.
But by the time we get to the Showtime special, that joke will be dead.
Bobby, you are the greatest.
Oh, you get a thank you too, Ira.
Oh, that's the weatherman.
Let's
go to Sean in Minneapolis. Sean, enjoying the show today, or is all the gab just kind of boring?
I like it. It's different.
It's different?
What do you mean it's different? Because I'm on, or Jay's better, or why is it different?
I just, it's fast. It's fast. So, when you get talking like that, I really love that. I like that.
Well, I try to talk fast to keep this thing moving because Jay pontificates and Ira starts babbling and then the broad starts talking and everything goes.
Hold it 1 second. Let's look back on the last 2.5 hours almost. Cheech came in.
That was great.
We had Ken Kojak. I changed his life.
Yeah, that went on a little too long.
Well,
that could have been a 3-minute segment.
Shuley left because you were here.
He was fine. He was great.
No, he left.
He left because he had something to do.
Bullshit.
What? Because his wife just had a kid. Oh,
Shuley left because he has to be with Ayatollah.
No, not Ayatollah. It's I don't know what the child's name is.
Ayatollah.
He's got
Italia.
some. What is it? Italia is the little girl's name. So go ahead, Sean, in Minneapolis. Yeah, go ahead.
Little baby Eleanor are taking care of one another.
All right. Go ahead, Sean, in Minneapolis.
I just want to ask Bobby a question about when he did the Rat Pack movie.
Yeah.
Out of all those characters that were on, the Frank Sinatra and the Dean Martin, which of those characters do you think the actor nailed it the most?
Joey Bishop, guy that played Joey Bishop.
The guy that put me. But you know what's funny? Look, first of all, that movie. Did you see it?
Ray Liotta played
Ray
Frank.
Liotta played Sinatra, and first of all, to get a guy to play Sinatra, especially a guy who's identifiable as Sinatra and a guy who's identifiable as Ray Liotta, is something that's impossible. If you see all these Elvis movies, the guys that always played Elvis great were guys who were good actors who you didn't know who they were.
Ray doesn't sing.
No, but they dubbed the voiceover very well. They did that really well. And Joe Mantegna, I thought, did a nice job, but Don Cheadle really inhabited Sammy Davis.
Yep.
He learned how to play the drums and tap dance. And
Come on.
No, I'm serious. He was playing the drums. They only showed up like maybe 5 seconds. He told me he's practicing.
That's like going to rehab and your wife leaves you. Don Cheadle learns how to play the drum, tap dance, they don't use it.
To show you what a novice actor, what a rookie I was, and still am. There's a scene in the Rat Pack movie where, they actually, there was in the Rat Pack, these guys a couple of times would walk on stage in their underwear with drinks. Frank would go out there.
Right.
Dean, you've probably seen the
they were nutty.
Famous.
They were nutty.
They were wacky. And they had the drink cart, and they'd walk out there, and me and Sammy are standing backstage. So Don Cheadle, as Sammy, says to me, what are they doing out there? He's saying that in character, like, hey, what are they doing out there? And I'm going, well, they're doing the scene. We're supposed to walk out there in a minute. And I'm such an idiot. I think he's asking me, what are they doing? I'm going, like Cheadle doesn't know. So he's in character, and I'm an idiot. I know.
So he was acting.
Yes. He's like, what are they doing out there? He's getting into the whole scene.
Oh, my God.
Dean and Frank, what are they doing out there?
Yeah. What?
Bobby, if he really wanted to stay in character, he would have popped his eye out.
Okay. All right, that's good.
Sean, how does that feel? How does that silence feel?
I heard somebody laughing. That's all I needed.
Really? That's all you needed? You mean to tell me that one? What is that thing, like a bell in this darkness? One little light, a match, a little match in the darkness, or there's one little light, one little tiny.
Don't we have to take a break so I can pee?
We do, right? All right. Hey, by the way, he is the great MMA fighter. Is it MMA or UFC? Which one is he?
Both.
He's all of them. Chuck Liddell, the great MMA UFC fighter. We'll talk to him next. What's he talking about? What are we up to?
He's one of the coaches in the Ultimate Fighter.
What's that? What's that, Sean? What did you say, Sean?
You got quite the cavalcade here today.
We do have a cavalcade of stars coming in.
We do.
He was supposed to call 10 minutes ago, so hopefully we'll get him soon.
Oh, he hasn't called?
No.
You think he heard that I was going to expose him, that he's not a tough guy?
Probably.
Yeah. I'd like to challenge him. Huh? Next time I see you, why don't you just punch me in the head, Chuck? I would take a punch for $1 million.
I heard you saying during the break that it wouldn't even hurt you if he did hit you.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it wouldn't hurt me.
You say you wanted to
I would
kick him in
pretend
the
I was a
stomach?
woman that wanted to be punched in the face of the guy from Craigslist. What a show we've had. All right. And Sean of Minneapolis has bored us for the last 5 minutes. Stay where you are. It's not over yet. Bobby Slayton to be at Comics, and also his DVD is coming out, and it's on Showtime. Watch that. We've been calling Chuck Liddell, and he's supposed to be on here talking about Ultimate Fighting and all. And
Page and Chuck.
We can't get it. We can't. You've tried all the numbers and everything else. Well, now of course, you see the show is completely planned, and then a guest doesn't show up. We were going to talk to him about that viral, that video of he and his girlfriend Heidi Northcott naked, wearing nothing but Reebok. What are Zig-Tex? The shoes?
New shoes, yeah.
Man, both naked. God, look at that. They must throw sparks off when they do it. Jesus. God forbid. I don't know.
Jay.
What would I do? I mean, I don't know. You know what? If somebody, oh my God, you see the crack of his ass and everything.
See, it looks like they're filming like through a keyhole or something, sort of.
Oh my God! You see it's
long, yeah.
It's like an ornament.
And she is just walking away on a elliptical, right?
Yep.
Oh, and now he's doing legs, but he's naked.
God.
Oh, it's disgusting.
This is amazing.
By the way, she is gorgeous. Jesus, gorgeous. Now they have something over the crack of her ass. But he loves showing his bunghole, right?
It's all pixelated, yeah.
Oh, now he's left her. Oh,
wow,
yeah.
She has a nice ass. She's got like a Kim Kardashian kind of ass. Well,
you know what?
Big.
When you do that kind of workout, that's what it builds. It builds your ass. You know the other one I like is when you get on the floor. I do this, and you know how really good-looking women in the gym will do it, and all the guys are looking. I get right in the middle of the gym. And I get on my back, and I do the thing where you do like where you pump up and you tighten your ass like that, like there's somebody riding you.
Yeah,
See, that's why I'm engaged to him. Do you see what he's doing?
But you know what I also do? I know they're all looking, so I do a set of 30, and then at about 28, I go like this. Oh,
yep.
Oh,
there it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's burning. Oh, and I go like this. One more. Oh, yeah. I do it. I try and tease people at the gym.
See?
Oh, yeah, I tease him.
Garrett's just jealous.
Hey, you know what's total bullshit is the trainers. You know, since I go to work in the afternoon, I will be there. The husband's left. The children are at whatever it is, daycare, whatever. And the housewife gets to the training session, right? Uh-huh. And these guys are bending their legs and spreading their legs, and they're always pushing on their leg, which is a bullshit move. It's meaningless. And their head. Has your wife ever had her own trainer?
No, but I have.
What about I go in
my
the
wife
middle
has
of
a Pilates trainer. She does
a
Pilates.
A guy?
No, a woman.
Yeah. Well, the guys at the gym, that is a gimmick, total. And I think that some high percentage of those women sleep with those guys. It's like tennis pros. That's what it is.
Well, a lot of those.
Look, give me your leg. You go like this.
Right.
Go ahead. Right down.
My trainer does that to me, and it looks really gay. But I don't care because he comes to my house and he does that. And my wife comes down and goes, "Great."
The other day I was at the gym. The woman gets on all fours and goes down and stretches.
Right.
And the trainer spread her cheeks with his thumb. I never saw that one before ever. And then he would let him go and it would flap.
Did she have a close-up?
Show Bobby. Chuck Liddell, who, by the way, our guest didn't show up. He called and said he heard us shitting on him and he was not going to come on.
That's not true.
That's true. And so we were
you weren't.
Look, that's him on the internet, and that's his girlfriend, and this is their ad. Now, all the scandals, why isn't this scandalous? It's because they have those, look at this, his schlong and everything. Look at his shoes.
Wait, he said because you were making fun of him, he wouldn't come on?
Yeah, and this is his ad for Nike.
But what'd you say about him?
It's something you said. I didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything about him.
You did. We didn't say his name right. I'm not joking. He's not on, and he didn't come on.
Because of me. You say you can call him Chuck Little.
No, I said Liddell or something like that.
All right, now, let me ask you this. You were going to say he's from some place you think...
He's in Santa Barbara, which is not tough at all. Right. I mean, we have like 9 gang members. You know all their names. There's 2 hookers. There's Joyce and, Anita. I mean, it's a small town. You've been there.
Yes.
And that's where he was raised. And he's really a tough guy. People aren't tough in Santa Barbara. Your boys, even the football teams, they get, any like a tough team comes into town, like from Oxnard or from, wherever. They beat the crap out of us.
Well, right? Oxnard's a town over, and they're tough because they're all,
they're all workers. Yeah. They're worker bees.
Farm worker
Mexicans, people. Yeah, but I wanted to find out how he got so tough in kind of a pussified town. But we want to find out now.
Well,
we'll not find out.
What are you going to do?
Scientists in Hong Kong have developed a robotic hand that allows people talking over the web to experience touching each other. You can even feeling the strength of a handshake. The cyber hand can grip and shake as well as make the sign for OK and V for victory. Now,
the possibilities are limitless.
Yeah, and you know what? As you're listening, at this moment, says Louis Hongyui, the function is not perfect, and it cannot be copied exactly, partly because the robot hand is different from the human hand in terms of the degree of freedom of movement it has. But
so they're happy ending over the internet from like Hong Kong?
They are getting to the point where you can. I don't know Garrett, how would it be? What sort of hand would it be?
I would assume that you put something over you, like one of those.
But how would you move something 10,000 miles away? Or I don't get how you'd move it.
I assume the other person on the other end has the same.
What are you asking him for? How would he know?
Because he's an internet guy. He's on the internet all the time playing those games.
Right, but this is a scientific breakthrough.
What are you saying? You know what? If he was going to be a guest, he wouldn't come on after that kind of insult. Well, you don't know what you do to people.
Okay.
Why would you ask him? Obviously, he is. To me,
does it seem like he has an answer?
No, he has some technical acumen in this area.
Wait, because he can work with a computer, knows how a robotic hand can masturbate you from China.
Yes. Okay, and by the way, why don't you hit it right on the button?
Look, I know how to drive a car. It doesn't mean I can tell you what rack and pinion steering is. I mean,
I didn't ask you anything, did I?
No,
I didn't ask you anything. I didn't think you even did very well with the idea I gave you for the stand-up. To be honest, to be honest,
I didn't do anything with it.
You're not a very technical comedian, even.
I was thinking it out in my mind. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen when I leave here?
Right.
I'm going to walk around for about an hour.
Are you in town tomorrow?
Yes.
Do not come back here.
Oh, you've driven away 2 guests, Chuck Little and whatever the hell his name is.
Liddell.
Little. Me.
Liddell.
Okay. Yeah.
Liddell.
Who's driving people away here,
Hey,
Thomas?
Chuck Liddell. Fuck yourself, man. Hey, you think you're so tough? Why don't you come up here and try some of this, huh? I'll tell you what, and you're naked on the internet with your wife? That girlfriend, disgusting. I tell you what, why don't you beat up me and Bobby Slayton? We'll make millions.
It's only a matter of time before the robotic hand comes out and punches us.
Why don't you punch I tell you what, I'll give you the first punch. I won't even do anything. Yeah, Garrett, you too. Get Garrett in there too. Garrett will be on the computer. Yeah, he'll be on the group. Yeah.
You were saying how you wanted him to kick you too. You said
kick me.
Yeah.
I think people egg on celebrities a lot. I think a lot of the paparazzi, when they do get in people's faces.
Yes.
I'm not saying that Sean Penn response is always valid, but you always hear stories about paparazzi who get punched down by some pissed off little pussy actor. But you know what? I think a lot of them push them to the point where they want to do it.
They do.
And they want to get punched.
Get out of my face.
They want a new camera.
If I was a paparazzi, you were carrying your child, I would get the camera right in the child's face. That's the first thing I would do. All right. By the way, my Spencer for Hire is on the site, and it says EP. What does that mean?
Episode.
I see. The episode that I'm on, and
you'll big showbiz guy.
You'll see me scream as I go into the Boston Bay. By the way, I will tell you this right now: this is either a threat or a delight. The show is not over yet. Well, Chuck Liddell talking about Reebok and the Ultimate Fighter on Spike TV. Chuck, great to have you on the show. How are you, Chuck?
Hey, remember, just because I'm on my way to the airport, I haven't left the town yet. You can't start popping off.
Chuck, listen, it's kidding. It's like a joke. Is it like
I'm still not too far away yet.
You know what, Chuck? Let me tell you something. It was a simple joke, and I didn't mean to upset you. I'm excited that you're naked on the internet with your girlfriend.
Wait, now you're excited I'm naked?
Yes, I'm excited you're naked, Chuck. I'm very excited that you're naked.
Wow.
And if you wanted me to lick you down there, you could make me lick you if you wanted to.
Oh. Yeah. It's a little more information I needed. Thanks.
Yeah.